Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chaos Child. We recently found out that we were in fact living in a homeless park in Tokyo, which is quite interesting. And now we're going back to the club room after skipping out for a few days, apparently from all that trauma from seeing those bodies, or the body, since it turns out the other two aren't dead, but I'm not sure if our characters know that yet. Only the police seem to know all that side of the story. As I saw the club room for the first time in 3 days, I was stunned.
いや、努力はしたんだよ。
And I did my best. I've been waiting all morning to tell Ito the big discovery I'd made yesterday. I'd stayed up almost all night finding all the information I could on it, and then forced myself to wait until school ended to tell him. I figured that just sending pictures to his phone or trying to explain it in words would just confuse him. Yeah, that is the kind of life we're living. I wanted to stand in front of the board in the club room with all the information we'd learned so far pinned on it, and use the club time to really work through it. I'd just like to point out, the club board on the left is completely empty, and our map appears to have been rolled up and put to the side. But, I think our characters noticed it. There was nothing there at all. I can only think of one person who would do that.
Kurus ka.
Kurus. That's right. Kurus did it. He knew the girl wasn't dead. That's why he saw that fantasy and had her in the police office. He saw her in the police office. He knew the girl wasn't dead. I don't know if he knew about the officer. You're right. He did have that fantasy about the girl coming and murdering him. I was just thinking it was like she was still a zombie for a second, though. That was my head. That was in my head.
昨日の帰り際な。危なすぎるから絶対にダメだって言って。
When we left yesterday, she said it was too dangerous and she wasn't gonna let you do it. That sounds like Kurus. Was it because of what happened in the Love Hotel? In as angry a voice as I could muster, I said,
どうして止めてくれなかったんだよ。
Why didn't you stop her? Of course.
だから努力はしたんだよ。黙りなさいって言われて黙ったけど。
I told you I tried. She told me to shut up though, and I did.
そこをなんとかしてさ。
You should have done something.
無理言うなよ。お前ならなんとかできたのか？
Don't tell me to do the impossible. Could you have done something?
無理言うなよ。
We did ignore her and went into the Love Hotel in the first place. So yeah, we could probably ignore what she says. Tell me to do the impossible. Ito shrugged as if to see. Yeah, so I guess he thinks it's impossible too. No, Chris. It is Kurus. It's not a weird translation of Chris. Because Chris is like Kurisu. It would be like R.I. Chris is K-U-R-I-S-U usually. I've actually seen that as an example in textbooks. So I'm pretty sure that's accurate, and I'm also fairly certain that Chris from abroad in Japan also uses Kurisu. So I'm pretty sure that's how it's translated. Just imagining it scares me a little. Doing something about Kurus was absolutely impossible. But I mean, Chris would be like a really weird girl's name too, right? Like you don't normally see a lot of girls called Chris unless it's a nickname, right? Kurus means long life. Japanese for long life. Interesting. No one in Hekiko was capable of such a thing. No one in Hekiko can deal with Kurus. Alright, well, that's going to be interesting. I pointed to the PC on the desk.
データは
What about the data? Did she purge it?
ハードディスクごと叩き壊されなかっただけ。運が良かったんじゃないか？
Consider yourself lucky she didn't physically destroy the whole hard disk. Yeah, I think our good friend the gamer would complain, right? So the data was gone too. Ito was probably joking, but if Karus thought she needed to do it, she would have.
尾上さっきから何プリントアウトして。
Oh no, what are you printing out?
はいこれ
Yes. Alright, here you go. Sarika dropped a stack of papers on the desk. Oh boy, what do we got? I looked down and saw it was images and articles about the case. It was the ones that were uploaded to the newspaper club server.
どうしたんだこれ。
Where did you get these?
状況たるものデータのバックアップは常に取れってタクいつも言ってるじゃん。というかタクだって取ってるでしょ。
Aren't you always telling me that a true right sider needs to make sure his stuff's backed up? I mean, you've got backups too, right? He did tell us to delete our backups though, which is kind of funny. Well, yes, but... Oh? Sarika flipped through the papers. Sarika is a better journalist than you are.
ポケコンからだとなぜか画質が少し落ちるんだよね。サーバーにもう一回上げ直して。
For some reason, the image quality drops if I print it off my Pokemon. I'll re-upload it to the computer, to the server.
ちょっと待った。
Oh, wait a second. Sarika went to stretch a cable from her Pokecom to the PC, but I quickly stopped her.
画質これでいいの？
Is this image quality good enough?
そうじゃなくて。
That's not
い
it.
や
I mean,
画質はこれでいいんだけど、サーバーに上げるのはちょっと待ってくれ。
image quality's fine. I'd rather you didn't upload it to the server for a while. I glanced at Ito as I spoke. The newspaper club's server could be accessed from any PC in the school as long as you knew the password. Grace was spending her time at the student council getting ready for the culture festival, but there was a chance she might look at the server for some reason. You have a computer, save it to the local hard drive. Don't be a potato. There's no reason she'd look on your C drive in like a private folder. Ito nodded in agreement, a serious look on his face. She also probably doesn't have access to, since she probably also doesn't have access to student accounts, so you can save it on your student account network drive, probably. I don't actually. Oh wait, I should check where kanji is. Korea's speak because they show the name in Japanese. We don't know what kanji her name's made out of, but it might be. You might have just looked her up. Yeah. I guess if you look up Kurus, you might get the result from Chaos Child because it's a game. It's a game character.
2人とものんちゃんのことを怖がりすぎだよ。
You are
のん
too
ちゃん
afraid
優
of Hannah.
しいよ。
She's nice, right?
花ちゃん。
Right, Hannah? Right, Hannah?
ほらね。
See? See? See what? Was Kazuki agreeing? He was really pounding down on the keyboard and mouse really hard.
そりゃ尾上や和樹は副部長に可愛がられてるけどさ。
It's because she likes you too. Well, there you have it. Get them to
渋
defend
谷の
you.
クレープ屋台一緒にコンプリートしたんだよ。のんちゃん甘いものに詳しいんだ。
That's right. We visited every crepe stall in Shibuya together. Non knows all about sweets. Sarika puffed out her chest, very proud of his information. I did not care in the slightest.
それにどっちみちのんちゃんにはバレると思うよ。
Good question. Do we like crepes? Does everyone like crepes? Maybe our protagonist doesn't like crepes because he hates food. As liking food is for wrong-siders or something. Either way, I think Non's gonna find it. That was probably true. If you're gonna pin these to the bulletin board, like she's probably gonna notice. If we kept following the case as part of our work with the newspaper club, Cruz was smart enough to catch on.
大丈夫だよ。話
Okay,
せ
she'll
ば分かって
understand.
くれるよ。
Once you talk to her. Once we talk to her is the problem, though. Getting the text to show up fast enough is also a problem. I simulated a variety of situations in my mind. No, let me do one. Let me do one. Let me do a delusion. Let me pick one. Let me pick one. God damn. There we go. Negative, right? We want negative delusions. We're gonna go with a negative one here. This is something Sarika said, and I'd known about too. Would buying her something she liked from a famous sweet shop be enough to win her over? Would bribery work on someone as prim and proper as the student council president? It was worth a try. So how's it go? Unless we could win her over, we weren't going to be able to continue with the case.
よし、これから賄賂を買いに行こ
Let's go buy her something to bribe.
伊藤
Buy something to bribe.
渋谷で有名なスイーツ店の上位3つを調べてくれ
Find me the top 3 most famous sweets places in Shibuya.
任せろ。これで副部長もイチコロだぜ。
Leave it to me, the vice president's heart is yours. It was time for the mission to begin.
というわけでこれクルスにプレゼント。
Her name does not contain those kanji. Interesting. So Kurus is a mix. Okay, her name is probably Kurus is probably a nickname then? I knew that Kurus was staying late after school to get ready for the festival. Either that or it's a different pair of kanji because there's a lot of names have multiple kanji that could be associated with them. I handed her the present I'd just bought. Ito had found me a pancake place near Shibuya Station. It was a popular store where there was always a line of girls outside. I heard it was one of the few places you could get pancakes for takeout, so I quickly chose it. Standing in line with the girls for an hour was almost torture, but I somehow managed to do it.
これって X サンクスの
Oh,
パン
there's
ケ
her
ー
name.
キ
There's her name. Okay. Yeah, it is the second set. It is the second set of kanji. Because this next one, the large, like, weird... Okay, how do I want to describe this? The two on the right are no-no. As the one on the far... The symbol on the far right is a repeater for the previous one. The one that's like a box with a funky I or T symbol is the Kurus part, right? The package from X and Thanks? It is.
そうだけど
Why?
何を企んでるの
What are you planning?
そんな言い方ないだろ。せっかく買ってきたのに。
You don't need to say that after I was nice to buy you something.
あなたが私にプレゼントを持ってくるなんて今までなかったもの。
You've never brought me a
何か
present
魂胆が
before.
あるんでしょ
You're after something, aren't you? Oh no. Oh no.
伊藤君
Yeah, no, Kurus.
どういうこと
What's going on here? No.
事件のことを追いかけたいから副部長に賄賂をみたいな。
I guess we're bribing you, so let's keep working on the case.
あ、お前
Asshole! You could have put up more of a fight than that.
すまん宮代。
I'm sorry, Mishiro.
副部長の眼力には勝てなかった。
I can't fight the power of her stare.
せっかく買ってきてくれたのは嬉しいけど
I'm glad I
これ
got you something.
受け取れない
I cannot accept this. She just handed the pancakes back to me. She was always so serious about this stuff.
二人で仲良く食べなさい
You
と
too
って
enjoy
も美
them.
味しいから
They're very good. Her face was smiling, but her eyes weren't. Oh, that wasn't too harsh. That wasn't too harsh. We didn't get murdered. Yeah, that's what would happen. Kurus would see through any attempt at bribery I made. It was a bad idea to try and buy her off. Why would I want to split a pancake dinner with Ito anyway? Would it work better if Ito didn't go with me?
よし
Alright,
わかった。
I've got it.
いいのか
You sure? Ito must have been really surprised by my answer because he badly overreacted.
お前はそんなに勇敢なやつだったか
I didn't think you were so brave.
やるときはやるんだよ。ただサーバーにあげるのは待ってくれ。慎重を期したい。
Always brave when it counts. Just don't put anything on the server yet. I want to be cautious. I like how this guy's like... I like how, this guy's like, I'm brave when it counts. Yet, when it actually did count, he literally screamed and passed out. He vomited, screamed, and passed out. In the only pinch he's probably ever been in his entire life, apart from like the earthquake disaster. Because I would have said running from the police or like trying to hide or escape from them is pretty important, but He kind of just passed out. Alright. Okay.
それからとりあえず今はボードに情報を貼り付けるけれど、まとめ終わったら一旦剥がそう。
And for now, we'll put the information on the board. When it's done, we'll take it off. Things are going to get tricky. AKA, we're bitching out.
それ
She's
か
just
ら
like, okay.
事件のことに関してはとりあえずクルスに秘密にしよ
For
う。
now, let's not tell
それ
Kurus
で
about
ほ
the
とぼりが
kids.
冷めるまで様子を見つつ、クルスが甘いものでも食べて機嫌がいい時に切り出すんだ。
We can keep an eye on things till they calm down, and then bring it up when she's in a good mood after eating something sweet. Sarika, okay, okay.
じゃねえだろ。ただのヘタレじゃねえか。
Are you just being a pussy? What?
ヘタレじゃない。もっとも成功率の高い方法を弾き出したらこうなるんだ。それをヘタレと呼ぶのはヘタレの定義として。
Oh, not being a pussy. Choose the best method most likely to succeed. You call that being a pussy? The definition of pussy? Yeah, he's panicking,
は
right?
いはい、わかったわかった。ほら、尾上。地図貼るからそっち持て。
Right, right, I get it. Oh, no. I'm gonna put up the map. Hold that in. He doesn't seem very enthused. Okay. I swear. Like both the women in the room right now. Currently, very small vocabularies. One of them just grunts, maybe looks in your direction. And Sarika stopped speaking in full sentences and just says okay. Sounds like she doesn't agree, to be honest. Ito and Sarika took out the big map we used for the board.
説得を考えたらこれが一番
This is
確
the
実だ。
best way to persuade her. Surely. He didn't get it at all. There was no way I could persuade Kurus if I tried to go after her head on.
というか、宮代。マジな話だけどさ。
Mishiro, let's be serious for a second here. He had a very serious tone in his voice as he hung up the top of the map. I've been serious the whole time.
その、大丈夫なのか事件を追って。
Is it okay to keep following the case?
だからいずれ説得する。
あ、ヘタレじゃないぞ。慎重なんだぞ。
I told you, I'll persuade her eventually. I'm not being a pussy. I'm just being patient. Being
じゃな
cautious.
くて。お前、
Not what I'm talking about.
よっぽどのもん見たんだろ。その、
You saw something really bad, right?
ラブホテルで。
In the Love Hotel? Oh yeah, we did see a body. We predicted one and saw it. It was great. Although our characters probably don't think so. Sarika's like, yeah, I was gonna say, Sarika froze midway through the process of taping down the bottom of the map. I was gonna say, she's gonna like lock up or be like really nervous. So, that was it. I hadn't told Ito anything about the Love Hotel. I hadn't told him what I'd seen or experienced there. I tried my best to give him a cheerful smile.
大丈夫だよ。問題ない。こんな大きなネタほっとけないだろ。
It's fine, no problem. This is way too big a scoop not to chase, right? Right? Ito seems unconvinced. Okay. Ito didn't answer. He stared at me as if trying to figure me out. Then he relaxed and laughed a little.
まあ、電話の時点でそうじゃないかとは思ってたけどな。
Well, I figured as much when we talked on the phone. He was probably talking about the call I'd made yesterday. After I'd made my discovery, I called Ito and asked him to find all the information he could about the Love Hotel case. It had already been 3 days since it had happened. I hadn't really been following it at all, so I asked Ito to put together what he could find.
はい、いいよ。
Hey, okay, all set. Sarika finished pinning the map to the board. Okay, let's get started. It was a brand new map of Shibuya. How many of these do we just have lying around? We'd had to put it up from scratch again, but now that I looked at it, maybe that wasn't such a bad thing. I'd made a huge discovery which could impact the whole case. And we got all these posters in the bottom right that really, all these things in the bottom right that really matter. Like that picture of Sarika and Nona. Or Nam? It was a good idea to start from the beginning. I mean, it can be useful. When you're replacing everything, you get to reevaluate what you're doing, whether or not it's relevant. It forces you to look at everything one by one.
まず6年前の事件と日付の関連性があるという前提で進めよ
First, we'll assume there's a connection between the dates when these incidents are happening and the incidents 6 years ago. Okay?
つまり、
Okay.
今まで起きた3つの事件を一連のこととして考える。
In other
目
words,
的や犯人がいるとしたら、その正体はともかくとしてな。
we'll consider all 3 cases so far as part of a set, regardless of whether someone's behind this or what they might be after.
ああ、3つ続いた以上はそうだろう。そうじゃなかったらまたその時考えればいい。
Yeah, that makes sense now that there have been 3 incidents. If we find out we're wrong, we can reconsider things then. Okay, makes sense. I'm on board.
よし、場所から行くか。
Alright, let's
1
start with
件
the
目の事
location.
件。
Case
通
1.
称こっちみんなは人難で起こったから。
Don't Look at Me took place in Jinan.
で、その遺体の画像が
So here's the picture of the body. Damn, that looks really bloody. Holy shit.
で、その概要が
Here's a summary of the case. Okay. Why not
ち
start
な
with
み
the
に
new cases?
同じ日付の6年前の事件は集団ダイブだから。
By the way, the incident that occurred 6 years ago on the same date was the group dive. What? I'm confused. This? Oh, I could actually have selected more than one of them. That's interesting. Shit, this is gonna be awkward. Is it gonna tell me I'm wrong? No, it's just gonna pin them? These look wrong. Oh, they are right?
その概要が
Here's the summary of the case. Okay. Is that right? That looks wrong.
1件目はこんなもんだな。
That looks
じゃあ
wrong.
2件目に行こう。通称音漏れ炭は深センで起こったから。
That's it for the first case. Let's move on to the second. Leaking noise happened and she... No, that's wrong, right? Isn't that wrong?
で、その遺体の画像が
Here's a picture of the body. What? I'm really confused. We did that clearly wrong, right? This is the first case? This one that says select this is the first case. Why is it, like, not telling me I did these wrong? I need to get this right. Come on. Like, really, game? I'm really confused. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna select one that's clearly wrong. We know this is third. I'm clicking this. What happens?
で、その概要が
We know that's wrong!
ちなみに
Quick load. I'm really confused. We're going back all the way to the start. Alright, quick load. Oh, it has one that's conveniently placed here. Let's do this. That can't be right. Okay, scroll up. F2 history? No? Okay. The first case is this one, right? Right?
で、
Don't look at
そ
me.
の概要が
Here's a summary of the case. Yep, that's the
ちな
TIL. I
み
can see the
に
future.
同じ日付の6年前の事件は集団ダイブだから。
The group dive. I'd say the group dive. What would you say the group dive is? This one or this one? Like, is it this top one or is it this bottom one? This is vampire murder, right? This is the new one. You think bottom? Yeah, like they fell and like they exploded. I thought it was this one because it's like 3 guys up top. I'm not quite sure though. I think we're... I mean, it's not gonna tell me which one I got right. Yeah, fuck it, we'll click one. See what happens. At the very least, I want to get one of the pictures right. Like,
でその
okay,
概要
summary
が
of the case. Lying on the ground, something bloody. I think that's right.
1件目はこんなもんだな。
Alright, second case. Leaky
じゃあ
noise.
2件目に行こう。通称音漏れ炭は深センで起こったから、
Okay, occurred in
で
Shinsen.
その遺体の画像が
Here's the picture of the body. That's this one. We know that one. Leaky noise.
でそ
And a
の概
summary
要
of the
が
case. Yep, that's this case. Okay.
ちなみに同じ日付の6年前の事件
The
は
incident that occurred 6 years ago on the same
妊
date
娠
was
男だから
the pregnant man. This one on the right. This looks like pregnant man, right?
でその概要が
And here's a summary of the pregnant man case. Early morning. Oh man, it's so hard to read that fast. That's a lot of text to read and like try to read out loud. I can't interact with the board
じゃあ
either.
最後にラブホの事件だ。
Alright, the
場
one
所
that
は
took
道
place in
玄
the
坂
Love
のラブホ
Hotel.
街だから
This happened in the Love Hotel area in Dogenza, so... Okay. What about it?
で概要だけど
About the summary. I looked at Ito and could see he was nervous. He is worried, but at the same time a little excited. Ooh, Ito. You're interested now, aren't you?
どうした大丈夫か
What's wrong? Are you okay?
いやそうだな。まずは伊藤がまとめてきたのを見せてくれるか。世間ではどういう認識になっているのかを知りたい。発表されていた名前は見たけど
I want to know what the public knows better. I saw the name they gave it.
わかった
Can we call it the
ちょっと待ってな。
Headless Man? Or the Hollow One? That'd be cool too. Alright. It can't be a horseman because there's no horse, right? Alright, give me a second. Ito got out his own Pokecom and started to fiddle with it. He linked to the printer over the network and printed out his files. Wait,
やっぱサーバーにはあげないんじゃんか。
Headless Bedrider? They could do a pun with like the they could do a joke with like the they could do like a tying the knot pun. I just don't know what I do there. Could do something with the fact that he was strangled to death. Could do. Like, there's a bunch of angles. Let's see what
殴
they
られる
got.
のは嫌だ
Of course not. I don't want to get punched. Okay, he's not uploading to
だ
server
か
safe.
ら怖がりすぎだってば。
Told you, you're too scared of her. They're probably too scared. I skimmed the printout Ito made for me. After all those cases we'd researched together, he knew how to summarize information into a single page like a pro. Ito read from his own
名前
printout.
が発表されたのは昨日の夜だ
The name was
死んだの
announced last
は
night.
柿田博則22歳渋谷在住で更新でアルバイトしていたらしい
The victim was Hironori Kakita, a 22-year-old resident of Shibuya. He had a part-time job at Koshin.
更新
Koshin?
なんで知らないんだ
How can you not know about them?
景気のいいベンチャー企業だよ。
They're a huge, successful venture capital firm because most people don't even know what a venture capital firm is. They've been making a lot of money lately off of the Shibuya reconstruction.
渋谷ニュースの情報通り20代の男性だ
Venture capital firms are groups that give people money. A venture capital firm is basically a group that gives companies money so that they can literally just gives them capital so that they can expand their business and make profit. Basically, like one of the stages you do in it as a business if you are looking for more capital is you could contact venture capital firms. You know, obviously if you're like a fairly large money, Not quite like a bank, as it is an independent enterprise that focuses solely on doing that. And their business is normally making profit off of your company succeeding. So, like, typically you'd go to venture capital and sell, I believe you give them equity in your company for that. Whereas a bank would just want the money back. Venture capital firms either, like, buy out the company and support them, or they give you capital. Yeah, it's not like a conventional loan. Basically, like, they're trying to profit out of your business succeeding. They're trying to profit out of your business succeeding. They're not just giving you money. Although they might have some terms that they might just give out loans at sometimes. I'm not an expert in venture capital firms. It's a fairly risky business, though, since you're... Unlike a bank, like, a bank is fairly stable, because, like, a bank makes a lot of money off of fixed interest loans, like mortgages, whereas venture capital firms focus entirely on businesses, which is kind of risky, which is obviously, like, much higher risk. Yeah, they're one of the groups you would go to if you're looking for funding for your business. Generally, I think you're supposed to do that once your company is established, but I'm not positive. I think you can go to them when you don't have a real business. Yeah. So basically, they're like giving people, yeah, basically, yeah, like Shark Tank without the show. That's a good way to phrase it. After all, several of the people on Shark Tank and Dragon's Den are venture capitalists themselves. So that is what they do a lot of the time, is buy products their companies. Yeah, after all, Shark Tank does just show up out of nowhere. That's what people do anyway in real life. They go find rich people who are like, "Oh, you can make money. I'll fund your business. Give me some of those sweet profits when you succeed." Yeah, like Shibuya News said, he was a male in his 20s.
さすが。そこはチェックしてるか。
Nice, so you checked there. We've confirmed that the place Ito likes to check for news is somewhere he checks for news. That was about the only thing I could do, Ito said, as he nodded.
つーか、20代って言及したのは事件のあった日のネトラジ放送だぞ。
Wait, she said...
まだその段階では、どの媒体も男性の変死体が発見されたとしか発表してなかったのに。
She said he was in his 20s the night it happened. At that point, the only official announcement was a man's body had been found.
たく、どうやって調べてるんだか。
Where did she find this stuff? I couldn't agree more. How did Kay do her research?
死因は首吊りによる窒息死。地上のもつれからの自殺と断定された。
The cause of death was strangulation due to a hanging. They decided it was a suicide after a romantic quarrel.
Eh?
But... yeah, he's like, wait, what? A suicide over a fight with a lover.
自殺と断定されたのか?
It was ruled to be suicide?
ああ、警察はそう発表した。あと出ている情報といえば、まあ死んだ柿田が優秀だったってことくらいか。出来高のアルバイトで驚くほど稼いでいたらしい。
Yeah, that's what the cops said. The only other information they came out with was that he was pretty good at his job. He made a surprising amount off a commission sales job.
地上のもつれって、その相手は?
So, who did he get in a fight with?
Huh?
Who did he get?
地上って言うなら交際していた相手がいたはずだろ。
If he had a fight with his girlfriend, that means he had a girlfriend, right?
ああ、なるほどな。
I see. Ito looked through a bunch of files on his Pokecon.
いや、それに関しては何
I
も
don't
ない
have
な。
anything on that.
目撃者は?
What about witnesses? Anything?
発見したのはホテルの従業員だけど、それ以外には何も。もちろんお前らのことも出てない。
The hotel staff were the ones that found it, but nothing else was said. Of course, there was nothing about you two either. What the heck was going on? They hadn't said anything about the other girl at the scene?
タク。
Sarika was staring at me confused. She was probably thinking the same thing. I could understand why there wasn't any information about us. The police had said there wouldn't be, and to be honest, We were just gawkers. There was no real point in telling anyone we were there. But the girl clearly seemed to be involved in the case. If they said he got into a fight with his girlfriend, then it didn't make sense not to report the girl who was there.
未成年による配慮
Was it because she was a minor? I wasn't sure, but she had looked young. She definitely wasn't older than 19. Now, even then they'd say something. Whenever there's a problem with someone dating underage girls, they never reported the girl's name, but they always report her existence. Right? Because you need to know. It's like, well, it's like, that's a relevant part of the story. You're like, oh yeah, it was a mess like this. He was like dating an underage girl. You know, it's a little messed up.
どうした
What's wrong?
説明する
I'll explain. Alright. Let's explain to our friend. I pinned up the information Ito gave me.
ラブホの事件の遺体の仮装は
A picture of the body from the Love Hotel is this one. What's this?
ラブホの現場で撮った画像だ
It's a picture I took at the Love Hotel.
撮ったのか
You took pictures? Ito almost jumped on me in shock. I nodded.
正確には録画した映像を切り取ってプリントアウトしたやつだ
More
警
specifically, I
察に
took
消
a
される前
frame.
に尾上が個人のストレージに上げておいてくれた
I took a frame from the video I recorded and printed it out. Oh no, I uploaded it to her private storage before the police could delete it.
マジかよ
Seriously?
やばいだろこれどこにも出てねえぞ
Oh wow, that means nobody has this but us. Ito put his face up to the picture in excitement.
なんだ
What?
座ったまま首をワイヤーかこれ
He hung himself sitting down? Is this a wire? He mumbled to himself as he stared at it, trying to memorize every last
な
detail.
んだよこれおい一体何があったんだ
What's this? What the hell happened here? Give him the video. As I listened to Ito speak excitedly, I looked towards Sarika. I wasn't sure why I was looking at her. She's like, are you fucking serious? But she nodded as if she understood. I nodded back. The police had told us not to tell anyone, but I didn't care. I slowly started to explain what happened to Ito. We made it into the hotel undetected. The room we'd seen from outside was where we found the body. We'd gone inside and found the police officer lying on the floor. The body in the photo was sitting on a spinning bed and slowly rotating. There'd been another girl in there, and someone tried to enter the room. But I didn't tell him how the door had unlocked itself. The police had told me I'd imagined it, and they'd made me realize I had no proof. Between my curiosity and fear, I'd been a mess at the time anyway, and more than anything, without any kind of proof, I wasn't sure it had happened at all. When I finished, Ito's first questions were the same as mine had been.
現場にいた女に部屋に入ろうとしていた誰か
So there was a girl at the scene, and someone tried to come into the room?
でもその女はともかく誰かが部屋に入ろうとしていた形跡はなかったんだろ
The girl was real, but they couldn't find any evidence of someone trying to come into the room, could they? That was right. That was what the police told me. But
ノックの音が聞こえたんだそれは映像にも音声として残ってる
I heard the knocking, and I have the sound on my video.
音だろ誰かがドアの向こうにいてドアを叩いたという証明じゃない
Just the sound, right? That doesn't prove someone is on the other side of the door knocking.
いや理屈で考えればそうだけど
I mean, logically you're
それ
right,
に
but
確かにあれは誰かがドアを
I'm sure someone was on the other side. Ito cut me off, clearly irritated.
理屈で考えればって一
Logically
番らしくない言葉だぞ理屈のみで考えなければいけないってのが理屈バカのお前だろ
Oh. Logically, I'm right. You're the one who's always telling me logic is the only thing that matters, idiot. Don't call me an idiot. I just prefer to cover all my bases.
はっきりしてるところから行こうぜだろ
Let's start with what we know for sure, right? Apparently there's a bunch of endings in this game. Alright. Cool. Most visual knows it. Damn it. You could only say that because hadn't heard it in person. That strange, eerie sound which hung in the depths of your ears and wouldn't let go. But it was true.
その通りといえばそうなんだよな
Guess he's right, yeah. We need to make him hear the knocking sound. I hadn't seen for myself someone trying to enter the room. Maybe he took my silence as agreement.
で、現場にいた女か。あ、だから交際相手を気にしてたのか。
Ah, about this woman who was there. That's why you were asking about his girlfriend?
女っていうより女の子かな。
She was more a girl than a woman.
女の子
A girl?
あの子きっとそんなに私と年変わらないよ。それに上ってこともないと思う。同じか 1,2 個下くらいじゃない？
She was probably around my age, and I don't think she was older. She was maybe the same age or a year or two older? Or younger? Sorry, or younger, sorry. Maybe. I wasn't sure if, but Sarika says she's probably, so she's around Sarika's age or younger. Interesting. Sarika never had any evidence of proof for her statements, but she was often correct.
でもその女の子のことに触れている情報はなかったんだろう。
But there was nothing about her in the news, was there? I looked back at Ito to check.
Ah.
To check.
ゴシップ誌から新聞社の正式な発表、まとめウィキまで全部覗いたけど、そんな情報はなかった。
I checked everything from gossip magazines to the official newspaper announcements. I even took a look at the aggregator wiki, but there was nothing like that. I see.
だとすれば
Which means
Yeah,
we'll
but
have to look for her ourselves, I guess. I flipped through the remaining papers.
別の手がかりがあるのか？
Any other clues?
映像を見返して気づいたことがあるんだ。ちゃんとした理屈だ。なんせちゃんとした証拠があるからな。
There's something I noticed when I was going back through the footage. This one's nice and logical. I've got real proof after all.
小さい男だな。
You're a petty little man, aren't you? Say what you like. Yeah, I feel like Shinji's really known us for a while. There's a lot of poking and prodding back and forth. It was finally time to tell Ito what I'd found.
昨日
There's
作
that
っ
image I made yesterday.
た綺麗に写ってる例のシールの画像は
One with a nice picture of the sticker.
これなんだかわかるか？
You know what this is? Ito looked at the picture for a moment, uncertain.
見覚えあるな。なんだっけな。
I've seen that before. What is it? He uses Pokecom to run a search.
そう。力士シールだろ。
Yeah, it's a sumo wrestler sticker, right? Right?
うん、そう呼ばれてる。
The Shinjiri.
何の目的で貼られてるかわからない謎のシール。
That's what they call it. Our sumo sticker for short. No one knows who's putting them up or why.
期限は諸説あるけど、ネットで騒がれ出したのは2007年頃。
There are a lot of theories about where they came from, but the first time they really showed up on the net was in 2007. At one point, they were famous enough that TV stations were reporting on them, but after the 2009 Shibuya quake, everyone stopped talking about them. The city where the stickers were going up had been destroyed. People had bigger things to talk about. Starting sometime last year, they started appearing in Shibuya again.
目的はいろいろ噂されてる。単なるいたずら説はもちろんだけど、タギング説とか宗教による結界説だとか。
There's a lot of different rumors about what they are. Of course, some people say they're just a prank. Others say there's some kind of tagging or spiritual barrier of some sort.
変わったとこだと、本当に力士の人が自分の顔を貼ってる説ってのもある。
One of the stranger ones is that it's actually a sumo wrestler putting up stickers of his own face.
でもこれは違うと僕は思っていて。
Yeah, that's a dubious statement. I don't think that one's right either. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I'm with
そ
him.
も
That
そも
doesn't make
力士
sense.
シールなんて呼ばれてはいるけれど、それは単に太っている顔だからっていうだけの理由で誰かがそう言い出したことで、力士をモデルにしたなんてことは確たる証拠として。
They call these things sumo wrestler stickers, but that's just because the man in them has a fat face. There's no actual proof they're modeled after a sumo wrestler.
ちょっとストップ。
No, hold it for a second. I like how he said Choto stop. Choto stop. Ito cut me off just as I was getting started. Come on, man. It's just about to get good.
いや、それが何だっつんだ？そのシールと事件と何か関係あんのか？
Who cares? Do these stickers have anything to do with the case?
わからない。
I don't know.
は？
まだわからないんだ。でもな、
I still don't know, but
こっちみんなの現場付近にあった力士シールは、
the sticker placed at the scene of Don't Look at Me it was this one. This is right at the karaoke hall.
これ、この前お前に見せた画像を拡大したやつ。 こっちみんなの現場を取りに僕が行ったカラオケボックスの外壁部分。
Yep. This is a blown up version of the picture I showed you from the Don't Look at Me case. It's the wall outside the karaoke place I went to.
力士シールか？
A sumo sticker? Yep.
多少ぼやけてるけど
A little blurry,
間違いない。
but I'm sure of it.
おい、まさか。
You're not telling me.
ああ、ラブホの現場にもあったんだよ。
Yep. There's one
や
near
っ
the
ぱ
love
り
hill
現場が
too.
見える位置に。
Placed at a spot, it could see the crime scene. Boom.
じゃあ、あれか？音漏れたんもか？
Then what about leaky noise?
いや、それもまだわからない。
I don't know about that.
昨日調べたんだけど、少なくとも今まで撮った現場周りの画像には映ってなかった。
I looked yesterday, but couldn't find anything at the scene of the incident, but...
2つ続いた偶然にかけてみるのはありだって今回証明されただろ。
We just learned if something happens twice, it's worth betting on, right? Ito fell silent as if he was thinking about something. I was hoping he'd be a little more surprised, but I guess that's the best I could expect. Or maybe there was too much new information coming in at once for him to keep up.
ちなみにラブホテルの事件と同じ日付の6年前の事件は貼り付けだから。
The incident that occurred 6 years ago on the date was crucified, so... This guy looks vaguely crucified. I have no clue which picture's which, to be honest.
で、その概要が
Here's the summary of the case. I hope putting these pictures in the right place doesn't matter too much. Because we're gonna screw it up. I can't tell if that's
今のと
vampire
ころ
murders
日
or
付はとも
not.
かく事件の内容に関しては6年前とそこまでリンクしてないように思える。
For now, the dates match, but the actual cases don't seem to have much to do with what happened 6 years ago.
集団ダイブと同じ日付のこっちみんなは被害者は一人だし、それにまだ自殺と決まっているわけではないし。
Don't Look at Me happened on the same day as the group died, but there was only one victim. We don't know for sure that it was a suicide.
妊娠男と同じ日付の音漏れ炭は腹部に異物を埋め込んだっていう点は一緒だけど、そもそも被害者は女性だ。
Pregnant Man happened on the same day as Leaky Noise, but while both of them involved something stuffed into the stomach, the victim in the latter was a girl.
貼り付けとラブホの事件は目立った共通点は見つからない。
I don't see anything in common between the Crucified and Love Hotel incident. I do. They were both restrained in death.
だから他に事件を追う
Since
線
we
が
can't
ない以
find
上、
any other way to
歴史シ
proceed
ール
with
か
the
らもう
case,
一度事件を探ってみるのもありだと思う。
I think we should try seeing where the sumo stickers take us. I mean, I see that connection, right? It's done. So let's think about this. Group dive is excessively bloody. Okay? Let's think. Can we tie them together? Group dive and Don't Look at Me are excessively bloody. One of them involves someone cutting their arm out, where you base cutting their arm off, where you either die from shock or from exsanguination because all your blood's been pumped out of your arm, which is basically like all your blood. It has to be enough to make make you die from lack of blood reaching your head, which means either there's not enough blood or your blood's so thin that you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain. So probably pretty bloody as far as deaths go. I mean, there's obviously like you could make it worse, but it's close enough. Pregnant Man and the Leaky Noise, both stomach, obviously they pointed out, but like they're both restrained in the last one. Don't Look at Me was streamed where everyone can see it. Group Dive was a group suicide. There were also people who could see it. Yes, that's also an option. I feel like there's some strong parallels here that he's already missed. If you wanted to force a connection. Now, since they're operating from the premise that they're connected, I feel like you should take connections as relations. But, whatever. Alright. Since they can't find any other way to proceed with the case, they're gonna start seeing where the sumo stickers take them. Okay. But maybe I was overthinking this. There was no telling what else would be related to the case. Just in case, I decided to put the data on the other new generation incidents from 6 years ago. October 10th, Vampirer. October 23rd, Brain Dead. October 28th, Yummy Hand. And November 4th, the DQN puzzle. That should do it. So, physical distances, not quite related. I looked at the board and nodded in satisfaction. Looks like their physical location is fairly disparate so far. I wouldn't connect locations right now. I don't think I can see a connection between physical locations. There's like one under the text dialogue. There's, yeah, I don't see a relation for physical locations right now. Could you do something weird like draw a weird ass pentagram or some shit? How many murders were there? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 6. Imagine drawing a kanji. Oh, that's a thought. That's a thought. That's a thought. Does that draw anything? Group dive, pregnant man. Other one. That's not gonna be a kanji, right? Like, vampire. Yummy hand, brain dead. Nah. Problem is not all the kills happen yet. Yeah, that is a problem. Like, it's like, how many strokes do you get? Like, maybe 1. I don't think it leads to a kanji being drawn. I don't think it leads that way. Which doesn't make a lot of sense. There's not enough lines for a complicated there's not enough deaths for a complicated kanji is the main issue. It'd be a very simple one. And like this weird brain death one being at the top kind of just ruins it all. So I don't think you could draw any characters with that unless it's like an eye. Like an actual English eye. No other character works with this brain dead one being so far away from everything else. Like, most kanji fill most of the space with the symbol. Wouldn't make sense. It's not like a D or something, so it doesn't really work. I don't know. That's why I went for like easy shapes like pentagram. I went like a pentagram or a like a hexagram or something like that. That would work okay. Or like a, I guess a hexagram would just be a hexagon in another without weird lines between it, but yeah.
現状の情報の整理はこんなものか。
They don't seem to all have a central link, so the first body. Yeah, they don't even all seem to have a central link. Location may not matter. I'm thinking location doesn't have significance right now. Now, there's a very good chance that it does, but like from my current perspective, I can't think of it. That's all we know for now, yeah. I can't think of an easy connection, and they keep hiding half the map from me, so it's hard to see. Who wants coffee? As I finished going over the information, Sarika got some cups ready. Oh no. Zuki, who'd been ignoring the conversation until now, suddenly stood up. He grabbed the cups from Sarika with a speed you'd never believe she possessed.
いいよ、花ちゃん。
It's fine, Hannah.
いつもお茶組やってくれてるでしょ。
Drink, right? He doesn't seem very happy at the thought. Kazuki shook her head rapidly from left to right and motioned for Sarika to sit down. She's like a hyper-dedicated but also extremely lazy secretary. Good work.
おのえ、大丈夫だって。
It's fine.
せ
She's
っか
being
く
nice
用意して
enough.
くれるんだから。
Make it for us. I practically forced Sarika to sit down in her chair.
でも。
But... There was no way I was letting Sarika do any kind of cooking. How bad was she? She was so bad, I couldn't let her make coffee. Wait, Sarika's actually really bad at making coffee? Okay. She was so bad, she once asked me what kind of dish you used to wash the vegetables. Okay, I'm no longer concerned about his belief she shouldn't cook. I breathed a sigh of relief as she reluctantly sat down. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Even Kazuki was relieved enough you could actually tell what she was feeling for once. She started to make coffee. I no longer think it's weird that Kazuki is trying to stop her from making coffee. Odds are she'd probably kill everyone. I turned around to see if Ito needed any. He's thinking, deep in thought. He was still thinking. Thanks, game. He must have been thinking hard. He didn't even seem to notice that Sarika was making coffee, which normally would have been a cause for panic. I decided for now to put the coffee that Kazuki had made in front of him. He seemed to understand the situation and stretched out his hand. All zombie-like, yeah?
そのホテルの現場で録画した映像ってまだ残ってるんだろ
You still got the footage of that hotel room, right?
まあな。僕のポケコンとスマホに入ってる。それ以外は危ないから削除したけど。
What a fucking idiot, holy shit. It's on my Pokecom and my Pokecom. And smartphone. I deleted all the other copies for safety reasons. Ito glared at my Pokecom for a moment and turned towards me.
見せてくれ
Let me see it. You think he's gonna... How do you not expect him to act that? I wasn't sure what to do. You must have been able to sense my uncertainty.
警察から口止めされてるのか
The cops you did not tell anyone what happened? Yeah, but...
いや、でも気にしてるのはそこじゃない。だいたいお前にはもう何があったか喋ってるし。
I already told you what happened for one thing.
そうじゃなくて。
It's more like...
なんていう
More
か。
like... I'm a
これを見ちゃうと。
bitch! I don't know, if you see this in a TV show or movie, this is where the hero would say, "There's no going back." Right. Undergoing a shocking event changed the way you felt about the rest of your life. When you learned a hidden secret, it changed you. Just like when I learned about her. Dude, it's gonna be like as realistic to him as like everyone's favorite found footage movies. Like fucking... Like, come on, man. Nobody panics over... Nobody who's like over 12 panics over like Blair Witch Project or Cloverfield or some shit. Or any of the other like million found footage type films. And yours is exceptionally low quality because you're a terrible cinematographer. You're not half as dedicated as the average... You're not half as dedicated as the average video nerd in horror movies. Found footage horror movie, guys. Those cameramen are the real heroes. Just like when I learned from my parents.
ゴーだろ見せてくれ
Let me see it. Ito saw it. I was hesitating and cut me off.
お前らは直接見てきたもんなんだろ
You saw it in person,
俺
right?
も見ておきたい
I want to see it too. It didn't seem like he was going to change his mind.
分かった。
Okay.
じゃあ PC モニターで見ようよ。大きい方が見やすいでしょ
Alright, let's look at it in the computer monitor. It'll be easier to see on the bigger screen, right? Are we gonna kick her off? Are we gonna kick her off the computer and be like, hey, we're gonna watch real life horror movies? We're gonna watch what we recorded earlier. Sarika, the only person who didn't seem to understand the gravity of the situation, spoke up. Dude, maybe she just didn't think it was important. That's because Sarika's not a bitch.
しんちゃんは部員だよ。
Shin's a club
見ない
member,
と
right? He has to see it.
だな
Ito smiled as if he'd relaxed a little. He brought his hands up to his cheeks and gave him a slap to psych himself up.
よしじゃあ一時的にデスクトップにコピーしよ
Alright, we can
う今
copy
ブ
to
ラウザ
desktop
閉
for
じ
now.
て
I'll shut down this browser. And then he froze.
あ
おい、
What? What?
やばい
Huh?
What?
Shit. Look
見ろこれ
at this. Ito pointed to the monitor, his voice shaking. Sarika and I hurried behind him to see what he was looking at and gulped.
何この動画。
What is this video?
わかんねえ今いきなりまとめウィキに貼られた
I don't know, it just showed up on the aggregator wiki. Huh? The curtains opened and the man appeared. There was no mistaking it. It was that room in the Love Hotel. The man must have been Kikita. How the fuck did they get this video? This is outside. This is from outside, across the street. I couldn't see her face, but what was that? Was that the girl? It had to be her clothes matched what I remembered.
おい
Hey,
おい
what the hell? The bed spun around and the wire dug into Kikita's neck. There was no sound in the video, but I could hear the sound of the wire in the music box in my mind. Oh my god, our guy's bitching out already. Kikita's face took on a color very similar to what I'd seen in person, and the footage ended.
おい。なんだよこれ。
The hell is this? Are you kidding me? Why are we all panicking? Like, we have even more fucked up footage. I don't know why they're panicking over this. Other than the fact that, like, someone else got the video.
おい、宮代
Hey, Miyashiro! Yeah, what? I almost jumped off the ground. I don't know what everyone's panicking about again here. Maybe it's because I'm, like, super disconnected to seeing people die on video. Because, you know, I've seen, like, a million horror movies, but... I've seen enough horror movies. Sorry.
なんだこれ
The hell is this? Did you make this video? Ito yelled at me hysterically. I quickly shook my head.
そんなわ
Of
け
course
ないだろ
not.
僕
I
は
was
部屋の
inside
中
the
にいたんだ
building. I was inside the room.
じゃあなんだよこれ
How was it?
知らないって僕にわかるわ
I
け
don't How would I... What are we, choking? Sarika's hand suddenly stretched out.
ちょなんでよ
What are you doing?
ストップ落ち着こう
Stop,
タ
calm
ク
down.
しんちゃん
Fuck
喧
you,
嘩は
Shin.
ダメだよ
No fighting. Oh, gods. How is this, like... Okay. She grabbed us both by the cheek and pinched hard. This... Could the Sumo stickers have cameras in them? The Sumo sticker was visible, right? The Sumo sticker was that was the angle from the Sumo sticker, wasn't it? That was the angle of the Sumo sticker. The Sumo sticker was directly across the street. If it had zoom functionality, it would have gotten a line right onto the body. Because it was looking directly in the window and we could see the Sumo sticker from the window. That's an interesting thought. So there's some more evidence. And obviously we didn't need video for the other one because it was fucking being live streamed. Like, can't miss that. If the guy's on cam, everyone and their mother will have it in 4K. That really hurts.
落ち着いた
Did you calm
もう
down?
怒鳴らない
No more yelling.
しない
No more fighting. Oh. It's really painful. Please stop. Ito and I nodded and let Sarika go. Whew, what was that for?
だって二人とも怒鳴るんだもん
You two were yelling. Thanks, Sarika.
だからってお前な。
You can't just. Ito rubbed his cheek and gave Sarika an angry glare. She must have grabbed him really hard because I could see a red mark forming in the shape of her hand. Damn, she didn't fuck around with those grabs. Does that mean I had one of those too?
喧嘩はダメ今にも殴りかかりそうだったよ
No fighting. You two look like you were about to start hitting each other, you know? Sarika repeated. She didn't seem to think she'd done anything wrong at all. Maybe she hadn't. Kazuki gave Sarika a thumbs up. Yep. Sarika gave her a satisfied thumbs up in return. I didn't get it. I didn't get it all.
将来友達を叩いちゃいけませんって言いながら
Thanks for
自
playing,
分の子供を叩くタイプだな。
Thanks for playing mediator, Sarika, even if you're a little bit violent. You know, you're gonna be the kind of mom who says hitting is wrong as she beats up her kid. You're also not wrong there, Shinji. Ito's words impressed me. Those are the most accurate predictions I'd heard in years. Sarika frowned and said she'd never do that.
ねえなんだろうね
Anyway.
これ
What's this? You're pointing to the monitor. Didn't seem too bothered by it. She must have been used to seeing gory videos because she looked pretty calm. I rubbed my cheek as I looked on.
外から撮影したものだよな。
This is being filmed from outside, right?
あの現場に間違いないのか。
It's definitely the room you were in. Yeah, I nodded a little.
多分遺体の状況もあのままだったと思う。
I'm pretty sure the body was like that too.
くそ。
Shit,
なんなんだ
what's this?
ねえ保存しておいた方がよくない
Didn't we save the file? Yeah, fucking save the video.
そうだな。
Shit, man.
こんなもんいつ消されるかわかんね
There's no telling when it'll be deleted. I like how we have Internet Escape and iTunes. I like Internet Escape. That's great. I think I pointed that out already, but it's still funny. That was enough to bring Ito back to his senses. He saved the file to the PC with a slightly more unsteady hand than usual. Izuki was still playing her game, but the rest of us stared at the download bar as it filled up, little by little. And when it finished and the file was saved...
単にいたずらとかじゃないよね。
This wasn't just someone playing a prank, right? Zurika knew better than anyone else there was no such thing, but she asked anyway. I nodded firmly.
これを撮った人間は
Who took this? Wait,
いや
who posted it?
誰が貼り付けた
Ito frowned.
ハッカーじゃないから
I'm
な。
no hacker. All we
俺ら
amateurs
素
could
人
figure
レ
out
ベルでわ
is...
かるとしても
I
IP
bet
アド
the
レスくら
IP
いだろ。
address, right?
個人の特定まで行き着くのは無理だよ。
No way we could use that to track them down.
だよな
You're right. Sometimes the media would say the police used an IP address to track down a criminal's address, but strictly speaking, it's not quite right. Under some special circumstances, like a customer paying for a static IP, it's possible, but most of the time you couldn't track down an individual PC from an IP address. Even if you could, the most you could track down was a PC, not a person. Several years ago, this led to a very famous false arrest case. The heck were you supposed to do now? I scratched my head, confused.
おい。ついでた見ちゃおうぜ。
Alright, let's look at the other one.
お前がラブホテルで撮った
Maybe
動
you
画だよ。
took at the Love Hotel.
さっきの映像を見ちゃった後だ。もうどうにでもなれだ。
I already saw the last one. I don't think anything could bother me now. Ito sounded like he was having a hard time believing what he'd seen was real. I was gonna say, obviously. He'd already copied the file off the Pokecom and gone to open it. He was probably just overwhelmed. I know, that's how I'd been. I don't think he's overwhelmed. I think he's detached from it. He's not overwhelmed, he's detached. Alright. You're assuming everyone's overwhelmed at, like, mild videos, so... I took it up close, so it's pretty brutal. I gave him a warning and he responded with a firm nod. He clicked on the file. Plus, that video is a static shot filmed from a single location, where you're just watching something happen on screen. It's very, very detached. There's not even any audio. Possibly because the camera had no speaker. We don't know that. Whereas, delicious drink of water. Perfect timing. Whereas ours has a lot more personality. You can hear our voices. You can hear the panicking. So there's a lot more emotion in it, so it's more likely to invoke a response. I gave him a warning and he responded with a firm nod, so we clicked on the file. Gonna watch this again?
しんちゃん、本当に？
Are you sure?
ああ、多分な。
Probably.
文化系だったような。
I think she was a humanities student. Ito was moving at a quick pace. His expression was serious, but he was having trouble hiding his excitement.
そんなことあるのか
Is it really possible?
んだよ、マジだって。
Come on, it's true, man. We're following Ito down the hallway quickly. After seeing the video of the room at the Love Hotel, he'd said,
こいつ知ってるぞ。
I know this girl. I know this girl. Oh, right. Shinji knows this woman. He'd said he knew the girl who'd been in the room with us. That couldn't be true. Zurika and I insisted he was mistaken, but Ito wouldn't listen.
部会で見かけた気がするんだよ。
I saw it at our club leaders meeting, I think. So she goes to your school. Even if he was right, the club leaders meeting was where all the leaders of the school clubs and teams got together. If she was there, did that mean she was a leader in some club? I asked Ito, but he just smirked a little.
わかんねえぞ。うちみたいに部長が大勢の人の前で喋るのが苦手で、副部長が部会の議長だから。
We don't know that. Our president at the newspaper club is terrible at talking to groups of people, and our vice president was in charge of the meeting itself.
ただの部員である俺が出ているところもあるんだからな。
So I had to go, even though I'm just an ordinary member. Maybe there's someplace else like that.
苦手じゃない。ただ、なんていうか。
A Ghost Hunter's parody. It's like a Ghost Hunter's parody? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, he hid the fucking camera when the knocks were coming, so people couldn't tell that he was knocking on the door, panicking. Or that Sarika was knocking. Like, you could probably fake that. Right? Like, you hear the knock, you shove your camera in your pocket because you're not looking in the right direction. You're like, oh my god, there's knocking! Like, I could see that happening. I could see that happening, our protagonist actually faking it. I don't think that's the case because we had like a couple other kills. One of them given from the first person perspective of the person being killed. But it would be funny if it was faked like that. I'm not terrible at it, I'm just, well, I didn't like it and it made me nervous. Why are you the president again? Being in front of all those people, I mean, everyone knows those meetings never actually lead to anything productive. Okay. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. If you made a movie out of one of them, no one would go see it.
なんていうか、なんだよ。
You just, what?
いいだろ別に。というかどこに行くつもりなんだよ。
Forget it. Anyway, where are you going?
ここだ。
Here. Ito suddenly stopped. It was the student council room on the 6th floor of the annex building.
なんで
What?
部活紹介とかの書類が写
They
真
got
付き
pictures
で
of
置いて
all
あ
the
るんだ
club
よ。
members here.
校
It'll be
内中
faster
探すよりいいだろ。
than searching the whole school, right? You know what? You're right, man. Wait a second. We're gonna see the president? Yes. I pulled Ito from the door.
バカもしクルスがいたらどうするんだよ
Caruso's here. Ito gave a little moan.
それはお前がなんとかごまかせよ。
If that happens, you just try and fool her somehow.
だからそれができるくらいだったら最初から
If I was even remotely capable of that, we wouldn't need.
入ります。
Excuse me. Onoe ignored us completely and walked right into the room. Onoe actually has the ability to deceive people, or just not be a bitch. I'm not sure. She might have both. Damn, now what? We just have to pray she wasn't here. Our eyes met and I suddenly forgot how to breathe. Oh, it's her right there. She's just in the room. Oh my god, that's amazing. Why? It was that girl. What was she doing here? Negative delusion. We're going full panic mode.
タクル
Tuck
あなたたちも
brings you
どうしたの全員で
free here.
え
あ、いや、
Oh no. The woman, no, the girl stared at us suspiciously, and then for the first time she realized I couldn't take my eyes off her.
ん何ほうけてるのあなたたち
What's wrong with you people? No, she's there. Fine. The words wouldn't come out. What do I say? Why was she here? Why was she acting so normal? I mean, she could be the killer for all you know. Oh no, she's laughing maniacally without warning. The girl started to laugh.
やっと見つけた
I finally found you.
見つけましたよ
I found you. More laughing. Everyone froze. Even Cruz seemed uncertain what to do as she stared at the girl. The girl jammed her hand inside her pocket and took out a butterfly knife. Ooh, okay. She pointed the blade right at me.
宮代タクル
Yeshu, Takuru Mishiya. Yeshu,
死ねよお前
it's time for you to die. But was she really a murderer then? I tried to run. I tried to turn around and run right out of the room, but unfortunately Ito was in my way. I ran straight into him and fell backwards to the ground. Crap. Alarm bells were going off in my head. Run, 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 run. Get off the ground and run.
捕まえた
Oh no, she's got us. Gotcha. I felt something cold against my neck.
バイバイ。
Bye bye. Then came the pain. I felt strangely detached and indifferent as I watched blood splurt out of my own neck. Even though I knew it was just something I'd imagined, it still gave me goosebumps. So what would the good have been? What would the good have been? Would it have been something, what would he have thought? Are you sure he's schizophrenic? He knows it's something he imagined. Something like that could really happen right now. I just wanted anybody to give an explanation.
のんちゃん、知り合いなの？
Dawn, do you know her? She motioned towards the girl.
ええ、
She's-
後輩。2年生で文芸部部長の有村ひなえさん。
Hinai Arimura, the second year who leads the literature club. Okay.
どうもです。
Oh, hello. The girl bowed to us.
クルス先輩のお友達ですか？
Are you friends of Kurus?
ええ。そっちが新聞部部員で、
Don't
3
give
年
out our
の伊
names.
藤真
She's
嗣
gonna
君。
murder us. Shit,
同じく
man.
部員で2年の尾上聖
For all
太。
we know, she's the murderer of the last guy. That's Shinji Ito and Sarika Onoe. He's in the 3rd year and she's in 2nd year. They're both in the newspaper club.
で、それが部長で3年の宮代拓。身の程を知らない私の愚邸。
Yeah, so in this game, we have these delusion options, good and bad, and neither of them are real. They're both the character's imagination. So our character at one point imagined dosing our pink, I guess I'll call her pink-haired friend, with an aphrodisiac, and had like a 5-minute fantasy about that. And now we just had like a 5-minute fantasy. I specified negative, so it gave me a -1, which was her stabbing us to death. It's a quite interesting mechanic, but it's an interesting choice to be able to make, but it doesn't seem to have any impact on the story. So like, is it really a choice? We're just like randomly picking random side visuals. Like, okay. Okay, so that's Takeru Miyashiro, the club president, my little brother, and a boy who doesn't know his place. Thanks. Kuru's eyes narrowed as she glared at me. And this
弟
chick's...
さんですか？
Is your
でも
brother?
名字が
Weird last names. Oh, that's why she's
養護施設のね。
from an orphanage, you see.
へえ、血がつながってない兄弟。なんかいやらしいですね。
Ooh, you're siblings, but not actually related, huh? That sounds kind of naughty, doesn't it? Ooh, she's thinking our character's a siscon. I see.
小説とかと一緒にしないでちょうだい。
We don't even look the same, to be honest. Like, she's like naturally blonde with blue eyes. Please don't act like this some kind of novel. I mean, but still, doesn't it seem kind of naughty? She asked with a wink. What? Why? What are you doing here? I wiped my sweaty hands on my pants and tried to ignore my pounding heart.
何してるんですか？
What are you doing?
いや、その
Get the words out.
タクル？
Taku? Sarika seemed to understand what I was trying to say and finished my sentence for me.
有村さんは何しにここに来たんですか？
What are you doing here, Arimura?
クルス先輩に文化祭のことで話があったんだよ。
I was talking to
て
Chris.
か同学年なんだから敬語いらないよ。
The culture festival, okay.
うん。
Okay.
まあいっか。じゃあ私はこれで。クルス先輩、
Whatever.
すいませんでした。
Where are we going? Sorry, Chris. We waved a hand and told her not to worry.
事情があるなら仕方ないでしょう。文芸部は文化祭に参加できないと話は通しておくから。でも
If you can't do it, you can't. I'll tell the teachers the literature club won't be participating in the culture festival, but... Yes?
どうしても事情は言えないのね。
You're absolutely sure you can't tell me what's going on, right? Dude, if he just like blurted out she's like potentially the murderer of the last guy, that'd be hilarious. Can we do that?
いたいけな乙女の秘密ということで、何卒
We girls have our secrets, you know. Oh yes, I'll use my femininity as an excuse to not do something when I'm involved in a murder case. That sounds cool.
了解。
Cool.
でも来年はフォローできないからね。
Right, I won't be able to help you next year, okay?
ありがとうございました。
Bye bye. The girl put her bag on her shoulder and bowed to us, then went to leave. And we aren't gonna ask her questions or do anything, we're just gonna stand there dumbfounded? Alright. Wait. I still haven't asked you about the things I need to. Why didn't you ask her literally any of them? Her name, it was...
有村さん
Arimura-san. My voice was loud enough I made her jump a little.
びっくりした。
Scared me.
元気ですね。
You got a lot of energy. You literally like had blood all over your face like last time we saw you.
ごめんなさい
Go. Sorry.
いえ、別にいいんですけど。
It's fine.
何です？
What is it?
大声すいませんでした
Sorry.
いやじゃなくて
That was so loud, I mean...
ですねその
I'm gonna die from secondhand embarrassment here if this guy doesn't hurry the fuck up and ask a question. I'm sorry, it was so loud. I mean, listen, my face was turning red from nervousness. Damn, this always what happens. He says he's brave when it counts, and we're in, like, round number 2 of it's sort of counting, and he's bitched out. Again. I gotta give credit to Shiro. Shiro doesn't bitch out when it counts. He's kind of like a dumbass, but it's like, you know, he's a dumbass because he wants to be that hero, even if he's being a moron when he's doing it. And he's like super awkward when it comes to girls. This is like serious business, and he's like, I'm just gonna like panic about this. Shiro doesn't screw up when it's serious. Shiro screws up when it's personal and not at all important, which is fine. This guy thinks he's Shiro, but he's like the opposite. This is what always happened the first time I tried to talk to someone. How are you the club president if you can't even talk to people? What should I ask? Alright, we're gonna go with a positive delusion this time. Just so our character doesn't have a heart attack.
ホテルで
In the hotel?
ホテル？
Hotel?
何してたんですか
What were you doing?
あのホテルで
In that hotel? A moment. It felt like our body moved for just a moment.
有村さん？
Arimura? I could see Cruz's frown in the corner of my eye. She was looking at me. Her expression hadn't changed, but for some reason it felt she was looking me over. Alright, positive delusion. And then she smiled.
Huh?
気になります？
You wanna know?
そりゃ
Well, yeah. Just as I spoke, she leant over and whispered in my ear.
だったら今度二人で一緒に行きましょう。
Why don't we go together next time?
え
何？なんて言ったの？
What did she say? I'm imagining this is Xenon's fantasy, right? This is Xenon's
私と
delusion.
宮代先輩だけの秘密です。
It's a secret between me and Miyashiro. That's what we want it. That's what all the thirsty guys want her to say. I considered that as a possibility, but quickly abandoned it. I couldn't imagine her doing something like that after what I'd seen at the hotel. Something much worse was going on here. An awkward silence ensued as we waited for her to answer.
あなただったんですか？部屋に入ったっていううちの生徒は。
So you're the Hekyo student who came into the room? Her tone of voice was perfectly normal. There was no surprise or anger, just a flat, level tone. This woman is like 500% more adult than our main character who like panics and everything. Yeah, the endlessly hysteric character who probably shouldn't... Usually the hysteric person is not the cameraman in a found footage film, but it seems our character wants to be both cameraman and the endlessly hysterical panicky guy. Or girl, you know, whatever. Anyone can fill that role. Somehow that struck me as worse.
言葉に出してもらってもいいですか？部屋に入ったのはあなたですか？
Can you say that aloud for me? Were you the one who went into that room? What?
そうだよ。
That's right.
そうですか。
I see. I couldn't tell if she cared or not.
それでホテルで何を？
What were you doing in the hotel?
部屋のドアが勝手に開いて、それで入れたそうですね。それは本当ですか？
I heard the door opened on its own and that's how you got in. Is that true? The door? The door opened on its own? She knew about that? She was doing the deed with a dead guy and a cop. She's quite the no. We don't actually have any evidence other than that she was collapsed in the room. The cop was injured with a head wound, and the guy was dead. I nodded.
言葉に出してもらってもいいですか？
You say that out loud.
本当だよ。
It's
勝手
true.
に内側から。
It opened from the inside.
そうですか。
I see. And then she seemed to be looking me over again. What was going on here?
有村さん？何かあなた。
Is there something?
じゃあ、失礼します。
Anyway, goodbye. Arimura ignored Curtis's question and went to leave.
ちょっとですから何を？
She literally didn't answer our question, right? Our question was what you were doing in there, and she responded with a question, and our character was too stupid to push her for an answer.
ああ、敬語いらないですよ。それに呼び捨てでいいです。
No need to
後
be
輩じゃ
so
ないですか。
I'm
それ
younger
から
than you. And she's deflecting like crazy.
あなた、殺されますよ。宮代拓先輩。
You're going to be killed, Takuru Miyashiro. Those were her last words before she left the room. She didn't seem at all surprised I questioned her, but I froze solid. Alright. Club president. This guy's Twitter is Palace and Castle. And Katabisu puts up, who put this on Hachiko? LOLOL. Creepy AF. The Sumo sticker, isn't it? Looks kind of cute. Congratulations on 500 retweets. Holy shit, that's more than 500 retweets. 11,000 retweets, 6,800 favorites. There's a few trends on the left. I don't suppose we can interact with those. Alright, what else do we got? The heck is this? Who puts on Hachiko? Congratulations on 1,000 retweets. Give me a break. I love Hachiko. I don't care about this creepy dog. Cute. Who put this up? Can we click like these? Nah, it doesn't look like that's the case. Can we follow hyperlinks? Nah. October 2nd, 2015 on a Friday. At the same time, Top Guy? Dogenzaka, Shibuya. Sky had been overcast all day and now it had finally begun to rain. Some of the news media that had been swarming around the Love Hotel decided it was a good time to go home. Others just took refuge in their vans, frowning. Meanwhile, me, a cop, Shinjo's mind raced as quickly as the men trying to flee the storm. What's going on here? Everything started right after midnight. Hine Arimura, the Heikyo girl, had refused to give even her name until he'd relayed Momose's message to her, but as soon as she heard it, her attitude changed. His only choice was to continue to do everything Momose's kid told him to do. The first thing she'd said was that there was almost no chance Arimura was the killer, and that it was safe to let her go. The second thing she said was, it would be smarter to let her go and see what she did. The third thing she said was that even if he did get some answers out of her, he wouldn't be able to make sense of them. Shinjo used every bit of his authority to get her released. He'd been forced to suck up to some people he didn't like, and in the end, she'd be monitored and questioned by the police daily. Since they hadn't known if she had anything to do with Kakita's death, they'd used her assault on the police officer to bring her in. Either way, that last evening marked 48 hours since her arrest. They had to decide whether to let her go or seek a warrant for detention. I mean, she did assault a police officer. You should be like, what the fuck is a woman doing randomly assaulting a police officer with a body in the room? But, you know, we can ignore her. They hadn't found any physical evidence connecting her to Kakita's murder, and Arimura herself said, I don't remember anything. That was all she'd said, in fact. Provisional release at this point seemed a bit of a stretch for his authority, but it was a sensible decision. If anything here wasn't sensible was the fact that he was doing everything Momose's acquaintance asked of him. He didn't have a plan to follow. It was the first time that it happened, he thought. He'd only managed to be successful at his age around what Momose called the hard heads in Section 1, was that he knew how to be flexible. The reason many police officers could be stubborn and hard-headed was most of the time, that was how you solved a case. Shinjo understood the rules they clung to so fiercely, both written and unwritten, were the product of valuable experience. But he also understood that unorthodox methods his senior detective friend had taught him were a weapon in their own right. Even if the higher-ups didn't like him using them, they'd brought him success. One good example was the time the profilers told them the person behind a string of assaults was a man in his 20s who never left his house. He'd found out the culprit was actually a runaway girl in her late teens who lived in a net cafe. He'd matched the internet logs that Section 1 had gathered with the data held by Social Safety Section, the group that was on notoriously bad terms with Section 1. At the end, he'd cracked the case by logging onto an online game and tracking down several of its players, including the girl behind the attacks. Shinjo was, if nothing else, confident he was capable of not letting preconceptions keep him from making the best choice. This time, not only did he not know what was the best choice, he didn't even know if the choices he was making were good or bad.
これじゃあ、百瀬さんの言った通りじゃないか。
This is ending up just like Momose said it would. If he couldn't change things fast, he might end up taking off the case. He looked at his watch and realized something. The man he was waiting for wasn't here. It had cost him quite a bit to get him permission to show him the crime scene, and he was over 30 minutes late.
百瀬さんが言うには特徴のあるやつだからすぐにわかるって話だったが。
Momose said there's no way I could miss him. He didn't know what he looked like, but there was no way the officer standing guard outside could miss him.
ちょっと待ちなさい！こら！
Hey, wait, you! He heard a loud voice from the hallway. Shinjo decided before he let him into the scene, he'd give him a lecture about his tardiness. He stopped, surprised.
女？
A girl? He didn't expect to see what he saw. He'd convinced himself that anyone weird enough to want to see a crime scene had to be a guy. What? That makes no sense. Even if she looked like she was good... She looked like she'd be very pretty with makeup on. Even if she wore none now, a frown was plastered on her face, and her long black hair was half-heartedly tied behind her back. She was wearing a white lab coat, but under it was...
制服？
That's
それに
uniform.
あれは確か。
And isn't that the uniform for Hekiha Academy, the same school Arimura and the two kids who snuck into the crime scene attended? Oh my god, what is with this school? Shinjo motioned to the officer to let her pass, and remembered the last name he'd been given by Momose.
君が久野里さんかな。
Momose? Are you Kunosato?
Yeah. I leave it to you all. So, you don't need my confirmation.
Oh, she's speaking English with a Japanese accent. All right. There you go, guys. If you wanted the English dub, there you go.
は？
There's no time to waste, as you know. Here. Yeah.
As you know. That was as you know, not adieu now, in case anyone was wondering. And I don't know why this guy assumed no woman would ever want to see the crime scene. The only people I know who are obsessed with serial killers are all women. Like, I know too many women who like fucking loved Dexter, saw that show like 6 times, love watching documentaries on serial killers, reading about serial killers, can like go on 20-minute rants about serial killers. Oh yeah, we got like Sonia from Danganronpa, but I mean like in real life. In real life, we got that. We got like Bones. We got like CSI. Like, on what planet are you like, yeah, women don't like crime scenes? Swear to God. Like, it's more often than not women like crime scenes and murders. Shit, man.
Well, I gotta nurse this damn cop. Okay. Later, Chris.
I gotta nurse this dumb cop. Okay, later, Chris. Ah, she's on the phone. And then she hung up the phone and glared at Shinjo. She showed no sign of apologizing for her lateness or gawking at the scene of a murder. This was her, it had to be. When he saw how arrogantly she was behaving, he knew immediately this had to be the Kunisada person Momose told him about. He felt a little overwhelmed by her, but tried to make his voice as strong as he could.
黒里さんかな百瀬さんのことだからどんな人が来ても構わないつもりでいたんだが若い女の子を入れるわけには
Of course! Wow, what a generic line. Are you Kurosada? No, Momose. I figured I'd be ready for anything, but I can't let a young girl into a crime scene.
こんな非常識が蔓延している現場で常識的なことを言うな。それが邪魔だと言われなかったか？
Don't act normal when you're surrounded by things that aren't normal. Didn't she tell you that would get in your way? Get wrecked. She ignored Shinjo's words and walked right past him. She stepped right on top of the number plates the forensics put on the ground to identify locations of evidence, and looked at the blinds placed on the window to stop the media from looking inside and stopped. Shinjo felt himself being annoyed at her attitude, particularly what she said about him in English.
こちらが間抜けな警官だろうが指示には従ってもらう今すぐに
We're dumb cop right now. You're gonna do what I tell you right now.
世間の連中は死体はみんな死んでると思ってる。
People think every corpse is dead. No, they're still alive because they can tell you a story.
は
Oh.
英語を聞き取れる耳は持っていてもビンチャーは見てないのか？
You got ears that can understand English and don't watch Venture? What is it, F4? An American movie director, the line Kunisada said is from the hit psychological suspense movie 8. Oh, okay. Which is written that way. Maybe it's referencing 7? Oh well. Alright, anything we missed? Welfare facility, yeah, group homes, okay. Social safety section deals with crimes involving minors, drugs, cybercrimes, illegal computer access, shit like that. Phantasm, a gothic punk band popular in Shibuya in 09. In 2015, it had passionate fans. Group of 4, only the names of the vocalist and the guitarist were made public. Parent site, primary source for information. Pan, video recording, everyone knows what it is. Tagging. Painting a mark or symbol on a wall on public property. Marks painted this way are called tags. Yeah, that's pretty standard for street art. Tagging's often a crime because a lot of people don't get permission for that shit. Oh, you've got ears to speak and you don't watch Vitcher. You put her hand to the blind she'd been looking at. What are you doing?
あんたらは現場は事件が起きた空間だけだと思ってるのかって言ってるんだ。
I'm asking if you think this room is the only crime scene in this case. She kept her eyes on the exposed window. As she tossed him a Pokecom she'd fished out of her pocket. Shinjo grabbed it without thinking and looked down at it. He was stunned. It was footage of the room he was in right now. That was probably Kakita dead and Hine Arimura.
なんだ これは
What's this?
ついさっき
A video just uploaded to the web. Her answer made Shinjo feel pissed off at everything, including himself. Why didn't he notice? Why did he have to be shown this by a girl he just met?
窓の外からか
From outside the window? He grabbed onto the window frame, looking for the spot where the video had been recorded, but all he saw was the external wall of the building slick with rain. There was only some kind of strange, creepy sticker there. Again, the stickers are clearly cameras.
Oi!
Hey! Shinjo yelled out into the hallway. The officer outside heard the tone of his voice and rushed inside. Shinjo pointed at the window and said,
至急鑑識を呼んで隣の建物の入り口を封鎖しろ。それからこの映像の出所を
Seal off the building next door right now and give me forensics and then track down where this video...
映像はともかく建物からはおそらく何も出ないぞ。
I don't know about the video. You're probably not
外
going to find
壁に
anything
カメ
next
ラな
door.
どを取り付けた形跡はなかった。
There's no sign of a camera being placed on that wall.
え
What?
入り口にあった監視カメラの映像をコピーしてうちで洗っているがまあ出ないだろう。
I copied the data security entrance and Furishia's team's probably going over it. We're not going to find anything. Probably. Okay.
出てもらっちゃ困るんだよ。
I hope not. You must have been enjoying this because Kunosada's frown twisted into a mischievous bully's expression. Again, he didn't understand. He didn't have time for this. Okay, so I'm assuming forensics can do trigonometry, so they'd know exactly from what angle that video was shot at. He ignored her and ordered his men to seal the building, call forensics, and track down where the video was filmed. With that finished, he turned back to her.
それを調べていて遅れたのか
Is that why you're late?
現場保全を優先しろ。この動画は貼られた直後にアットちゃんに飛び火した。貼られてから40分強経過している。
Focus on securing the scene. Act 2chan picked up on this video right after it was posted, and it was uploaded only 40 minutes ago.
すでに5000人以上がこの動画にアクセスしてるんだ。
Already more than 5,000 people have seen it.
事件にへばりついている下のマスコミの関係者がいないと思うか？
You don't think any of them are with those media people down below?
待て勝手に
Wait, you can't.
ニコニアニュースの渡部です。この動画についてコメントを。
Ah, here comes the media. That only took like 5 seconds.
海
Enjoy.
外テレビです。お聞きしたいことが。
Oh yeah, sorry. This is Watabe with Nikunia News. I'd like your comment. I'm with Kaioru TV. I'd like to ask you about.
出ていけほらな
No pictures. Alright, thanks, cop, dude. You can hear yelling coming from the hallway.
くそまたあのネット記者か
With that net reporter again. Shinjo ran out into the hallway, infuriated.
捜査一課の方ですか？動画をご覧に。
Are you at section 1? Did you see the video?
許可なく入らないでくださいコメントすることはありません
Please don't come in without permission. We have no comment.
押すんじゃない
Pushing.
ご覧になったんですか？なっていないんですか？
Did you see it or not?
コメントすることはありません
No comment. At least they had 5 seconds of notice, right? Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Kunosada was still looking outside the window as she listened to the commotion in the hallway. Thank God they killed the commotion. I don't really like the audio of the commotion. She stuck her hands in her pockets and stared at the sticker on the opposite wall, the way a person on top of a tall building stares at the tiny people in the street below.
なあ。気分はどうだ？
Hey, how does it feel? Right there? Or are you thinking third eye? Third eye style? Like here? Third eye style? Or in like that white dot? The sticker pictured two, or it could be up top near that vent, maybe? The sticker pictured two ugly, overlapping faces. Where did you guess a camera is? The rain made it look like they were crying.
目撃者がいるとすれば、
If
お
there's any
前
witness,
だけだろう。
it's you, right? Kunosada smirked like a fighter facing down a worthy opponent. So Kunosato's already detected that the cameras are likely in there. If anyone was watching, it was from exactly that angle. Interesting. October 2nd, Friday. Time passed. It was almost midnight. That was at the same time as our discussion, by the way, with the other guys. With the ladies. Under a bridge in Shibuya. She walked with her head down so that others couldn't see her strange face. She was dragging her leg, her body tilted a little. She didn't have an umbrella, so the rain that had fallen that evening made her long bangs cling to her forehead. Water dripping off them. The eerie eyes that poked out from between her locks of hair looked like those of an animal hunting its prey. No one was moving but her. Normally there would be people here at this hour, but the town left her alone as if it sensed something. She disappeared into an alley without anyone noticing. It was several minutes later when they appeared there. So we're gonna name old man cancer patient, and we're gonna name this girl, yeah, we're just gonna name her Lolly until we have an idea. Alright. A girl less than 10 years old and an old woman well over 70. Glad I went with cancer patient. The old woman might have been blind because she carried a stick and had her hand on the girl's shoulder. The little girl was carrying something far too big for her tiny frame. Neither of them were carrying umbrellas, and both were soaking wet. They walked at a slow pace. Perhaps they knew the path well, or perhaps they simply didn't care because they paid no attention to anything around them. We got Cokehead, cancer patient, and Lolly. Alright. And then, for the first time, the girl saw something and stopped. The old woman stopped as well, and the only sound in the alley was the sound of the rain. The girl stood there for a full minute. Eventually she turned her head and led the older woman away. All that was left was the rain. And the things on the wall. That is a lot of faces. Yeah, I'm not gonna stand there.
が発見された事件で、その現場を映したと思われる映像がインターネット上に出回っており、
female newscaster, I think that's what that says in Japanese, something like that. Female something caster. A video of the scene has been passed around on the internet. Okay.
問題の映像は先日渋谷のラブホテルで自殺していた男性の遺体を映しており、
The footage in question shows the body of a man who committed suicide in a love hotel. The body still isn't taken down. If it's a suicide, why have they not taken the body down yet? An easy question. It was past midnight. All the news programs were talking about the video that had been uploaded to the internet that afternoon. Since there was a dead body in the video, none of the programs were actually playing it, but the newscasters had all described it. It was as if they were telling people to watch the rest on the web.
となると、この報道が初耳の人間がネットに流れてくるか。
Which means people who are just hearing about this now will be looking at the internet, huh? I guess. Twitter was the best way to see what people were saying at any given moment. I opened it and took a look. Where can you see a thing they're talking about on TV? You can't see it on Twitter because Twitter bans gore. Good luck. It's getting exciting. Link http://wiki banned. I saw it, but I should have known better than to watch it late night. Someone tell me a funny joke or something.
だよな。
But what I expected. Whenever I searched for a keyword related to the case, I found tons of tweets about the video and the news broadcast. The address of any page or aggregator site hosting the video was getting retweeted at an incredible rate. Of course, this was nothing new. 2chan had already been in festival mode since the video had been posted that evening. The video on the aggregator wiki had been quickly deleted, but someone saved it and uploaded it to a bunch of other sites. Those sites had deleted it too, and others had repeated the process. After the news, the threads on 2chan had gotten bigger.
回転デッドか。
Evolving Dead, huh?
これが通称になりそうだな。
Sounds like that's gonna be what they call it. Oh, they went with the twisty thing. I don't know who first came up with that name, but more and more people on 2chan were using it. It was probably a play on the revolving bed the body had been found on. Since the body had been spinning too, the case was literally about the revolving dead. 2chan, Twitter, all the aggregator sites and pages dealing with the case were in an uproar. I looked around, but I didn't see any new information. I'd seen it in person myself. My god, this guy's so fucking elitist. Holy shit. I could easily tell when someone was lying or guessing. So, like, he's the kind of person who has exclusive info, doesn't share it, and looks down on people for not knowing things that he personally saw. It's like, ha! How dare you not be at, like, an exclusive press conference that only 5 people were at? Pathetic. It is quite annoying. It's past midnight. What about this? What about this? Like, even the video didn't provide any new information, but for some reason, like, okay, the video doesn't provide new information for him, and he's supposed to be researching the case, but instead of trying to figure things out on his own, he's instead, or like, posting suggestions like, where do you guys think this video was taken from? Like, that would be a useful thing to say, like, oh, be like, I need to find out about this. I want to know where the video was taken from. Where was this video taken from? But instead, he's spent all of his mental energy, for some reason, on obsessing over this video that doesn't give him any new information. Like, the video itself is not new information. Where it was taken is more relevant, but he hasn't thought about that. He's kind of just been like, oh, I wonder what people are thinking about this video. Like, why the fuck do you care? You've already seen, like, you already know more. So if you're gonna, like, take your, I'm gonna go further than people, you're just gonna move on because you don't care. Maybe you'll see what people are doing when they dissect the video, but, like, first responses and Twitter responses don't really make a lot of sense unless there's, like, some big news for it. Like, I don't know. It seems like he's spending a lot of mental energy on this video that he shouldn't care about. Because we had, like, now 3 scenes about it. So, from my perspective, it seems like it's getting to be a bit wasteful. There was no big updates on Shibuya News either. The top of the page was about the uploaded video, but it was basically just a rehash of existing information. I thought that with all this fuss, she'd be putting on a web radio broadcast. Maybe she was busy. There was nothing about the Sumo stickers or Arimura, which made sense, I guess. Even Kei wasn't psychic. Only we and the police knew about Arimura, and only we knew about the stickers. The Sumo stickers. Which you're not investigating. Damn, I'd been planning on checking to see if there was a sticker around the scene of Leaky Noise today. Oh, you're in panic mode over Hine Arimura's lines still. Fuck, man, this guy's... Remember when Shiro got told to do something or he'd die and he was just like, what the fuck are you talking about, and moved on? Remember that when Ilya's like, you should hurry up and summon your servant, you're gonna die, and he just didn't do anything? Because he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We go back to that guy. Just a dumbass instead of this guy who's like a dumbass and does even less. He's just panicked and does something. I couldn't get the words she'd whispered out of my head. Man, this is the kind of guy who like watches a horror movie once and 10 years later he like has a panic attack if anyone mentions the name of it. In the end, it started raining and I'd gone with Ito's plan of trying to get more information about the video and learn more about Arimura. I hadn't made much progress with either. Of course, it had surprised me that Kurus hadn't said anything. What does she mean, I'm gonna be killed? The question came back to me again for the 100th time and I still had no answer. What was she warning me about? Hey, if you think you're gonna be killed, for what you know, you should share your knowledge, right? Or at least try to use it to bargain with whoever's gonna kill you. So if he's worried about that, there might be a solution just to fucking post everything he knows to the internet, but of course our opponent. So that it's no longer useful to kill him, but I guess we're not doing that. So what does he think he should do? He's already canceled all his plans for the day because someone told him he might be killed, but was like as vague as fuck and he doesn't know anything about them. Like, okay. Had I pissed her off somehow? No, it felt more like she was talking about someone else killing me. Maybe it didn't matter if she hated me or not. The timing didn't make sense either. We weren't talking about anything weird, we were just talking about the case. Was she telling me if I kept looking into this, I'd be killed? That's very possible. Why would you cancel your plans if that was the case, though? That didn't make sense either. The police had ruled the death at the Love Hotel a suicide. It was a strange way to kill yourself, sure, and after seeing it, I couldn't believe it was just a simple suicide, but that mean Kakita had been murdered after all? How would she know it was a murder? She's not telling the police who did it? That's suspicious. Murdered by whoever tried to come into the room? But the police told me I was mistaken, and Ito had told me I couldn't prove it logically. Damn it. It was no good. It didn't make any sense. I was going to be killed? Had I crossed some line?
殺されるぞ
Going to get killed, Takeru. Miyashiro. If you think she's telling the truth, just post your videos and be like, fuck it, if I get killed, they're not killing me for anything of value and everyone will know everything I did so they can maybe solve my murder case. I tried saying it aloud and shivered a little. Alas, he's deleted literally every copy of the video evidence he has from the cloud, so he's pretty fucked if he gets murdered. Because if our protagonist dies right now, no one will ever have the information he has because it's all on his local hard drive. And the cops were deleting his data because they don't believe him. So your best odds right now, if you think you're actually going to be killed, if you're actually concerned about being killed, which it seems like he is either to spend the rest of your life in hiding until all these murders blow over, or post your shit like, come on, play scared, or like, fuck it, maybe someone will find something you don't. Oh yeah, he's panicking. Here we go. Was I excited? I could feel myself start to laugh. That was fine. It was just fine with me. If I'd crossed some line, I'd find out what it was. That was the difference between me and those morons on the internet. I could do it. It looks like you're in your apartment canceling your plans in a panic because someone said you might get killed. I had lots of clues. The first was Hine Arimura herself, and then the Sumo stickers. I'd only seen them at 2 of the crime scenes so far, but if I could find one at Leaky Noise too, I'd have a clue that no one else in the world had. I should take a look tomorrow, and then what? Also, like, spend your whole day in your apartment. There was the video that got uploaded to the internet. Who upped it and why?
Huh?
I don't get why. I played the video one more time and then realized something.
そういえばなんでだ
Wait a second, what?
こっちもか
2? It was a common thing you found in videos, but I never really noticed until now, and I hadn't seen any comments on the internet saying anything about it either, but
なんでこんな処理してるんだ
why did they use this effect? There was something weird at the start and end of the video. It was on the screen for less than a second, but at the start of the image appeared from the bottom to top. This is the eye-opening effect, right? And then at the end. Watch again. It went from black top to bottom. These weren't particularly unusual effects. The one at the start was often used in TV shows and movies when a character woke up. Yeah. Of course, this was when the camera was showing his point of view. The one at the end was often used when a character was falling asleep or just before they passed out. Sometimes you could play both at high speed to make it look like someone was blinking. It was called a wipe, and it was a method of transitioning video from one image to another.
Huh?
This video was clearly taken from next to the Low Hotel and almost perfectly at eye level. Could have been edited visually. Could this have been edited from a larger shot or a wider shot? From the distance and angle, that much was clear. I spent so much time looking through a camera that I knew how to judge the distance between it and the things it saw. I was sure if I asked the rest of the newspaper club, they'd agree. But the side of the building this video was taken was a sheer wall. It's coming to it. He's gonna reach it. I could see it for myself in the video I'd taken. The only thing I could see outside the window were the wall and the sticker. Thank God. The uploaded video looked like it had been taken from someone's eyes. This is the person who has that. This is the person who has placed these stickers, has cameras in them. Suddenly, a dumb idea occurred to me. I looked at the picture of the sticker on the wall that I'd printed out. No. I shook my head to drive away the stupid delusion. I needed to stay calm and logical. Tomorrow, I could go. Oh, fuck. This guy's an idiot. If this is like a mark for death symbol, If this is like a marked for death symbol, he literally printed one out and put it on his fucking wall. What a potato. Holy shit. Alright, tomorrow I'd go see where the camera had probably been placed. This one wasn't a delusion, guys. Alright, one person in chat, Amy. Ed Lucas joined the channel. Sorry for being late. Test images spreading through Shibuya as expected. Continue to monitor the situation. Yes. And the target? No issues. There's no sign they know my identity. I'm close enough to kill Takuro Miyashiro at any time. If you asked me, all the people in my class were ignorant children. Fuck, man, that was a good jump. That was a good jump. That was a good jump scare. When I was in 4th grade, only about 1 in 6 kids had a smartphone. A bunch of them would use their phones during breaks to pull up secret web pages made by kids at school or dumb joke sites. They'd pass them around to class to become the center of attention, and each would be the leader of their own little group. One day, one of these leaders was upset because he couldn't visit a site he'd been able to access the day before. Some of the kids in his group suggested it was broken or maybe the address changed. I told him it's internet filtering. Your parents contacted the cell phone company to limit your online access. The leader looked stunned for a moment, but then he yelled at me for not to make stuff up. The rest of the group joined in. I knew I was right. I wasn't making anything up. I didn't understand why they were all yelling. Later I realized I was the class misfit and he was the boss of his own little group. He didn't like that I'd shown him up. I only went to school once in a while, but when I did, something like that always happened. I was sick of it. I wanted to show the rest of the class I was better than they were. I wanted to shock all those wrong-siders. When I snuck inside, I found a place filled with true darkness unlike any I'd ever experienced. I could hear her gasp behind me. Oh, it's us in the past. Okay. You okay? Sarika's with us. Sarika didn't answer. She just clung to me as if seeking escape from the darkness around us. We go home. Sarika quickly shook her head. It's okay, we still haven't found any clues about Amy and... I don't want to be in that house. You too, Taku. Yeah, it seems like that's the case. I thought for a second and nodded. For her, that was probably the real reason. Let's go. Sarika nodded back, but in the darkness, I could see her lips were quivering. She was scared. Maybe I'm lucky. What I wanted in this situation wasn't a brave comrade who would go boldly forward with me, but a friend who would shiver pathetically behind my back. No matter what happened, I had to protect Sarika. Having her there made me feel better like that. I brought my focus back to what was going on around me and started to softly walk forward. Is that long-haired Sarika in the visions we're seeing? I woke up from the usual dream. For once, I hadn't been sweating in my sleep. In fact, I felt better than usual. And we've already put away our mattress, as we can see. Or at least folded it up. I booted up the PC, checked my email, and loaded all the major newspaper and news sites up at once. It was how I usually started my morning. On an unrelated note, that picture's not here. Or at least from this angle, we can't see it. I felt extremely alert. I could probably finish my usual routine in less than an hour.
よし、そうだ。ガキだった自分じゃないんだ。
I'm not a kid anymore. I won't give up halfway like I did before. This time the mystery I needed to solve was right in front of me. You still have that stupid poster hanging on his wall?
このシールを見たことはありますか？
Have you ever seen this sticker?
街灯。
On a streetlight?
使われなくなった電話ボックスの影。
Or an abandoned phone booth?
ポストの裏。
On the back of a mailbox?
道路地図の
Or on
柱。
road signs?
街のいろいろな場所に貼られています。
Interesting. Something find them anywhere.
太った男の顔が2つ合わさっているような、この不気味なシールの名前は、
These strange stickers which look like the faces of two fat men overlapping are called
力士シール。
Sumo stickers.
このシールが世の中で騒がれ出したのは2007年頃でした。
The first time people started talking about them was back in 2007.
一時期はテレビ番組で取り上げられるなどして話題になったシールです。
They were big enough that at one point people were talking about them on TV. Do you think there's cameras hidden in them? I think that makes sense.
2009年の渋谷地震以後、めっきり姿を見かけなくなっていましたが、
After the 2009 Shibuya earthquake, everyone just stopped talking about them, but
最近、渋谷の街でまたこのシールを見かけるようになりました。
lately they started appearing around Shibuya again.
先日は、こんなものも。
This was found yesterday, for example.
一見、無作為に貼られているシールですが、
At first, these stickers may appear to have been put up at random,
実は、ある共通点があるのです。
but they actually all have something in common.
これと、
This,
これと、
this,
これ、
and this.
これら3つのシールは、近頃渋谷を賑わせている事件の現場近くで撮影したものです。
These three stickers were found near the sites of the bizarre deaths that the whole city has been talking about. Ah, so someone put this together without this idiot's help.
これは、通称、こっちみんな、の事件現場の、向かいのカラオケボッ
I
クス
think this is
に
Kai
貼られて
speaking,
い
by
た
the
も
way.
の。
I think this might be Kai speaking, like the evening announcement. This was put up on the karaoke box opposite the apartment where Don't Look at Me took place.
これは、通称、オトモレタン、の事件現場の、近くの街灯に貼られていたもの。
This was put up on a street light near Leaky Noise.
これは、通称、回転デッド、の事件現場の、向かいのラブホテルに貼られていたものです。
And this was put up on the Love Hotel opposite the scene of Revolving Dead.
そう、いずれも、一連の連続猟奇事件の現場に貼られていたのです。
That's right, all three of these were placed near the scenes of the deaths.
単なる偶然と思われた方もいらっしゃると思いますが、
Some of you may think this is a coincidence, but
こっちみんな、と、回転デッド、
Don't Look at Me and Revolving
こ
Dead
の2つの事件
took
は、
place.
それぞれマンションの5階と、ラブホテルの3階で起きています。
They took place in a fifth-story condo in the third story of a love hotel.
そして、これらの2つのシールは、まるで事件現場を覗くように、それぞれ隣の建物の5階と3階に貼ってありました。
Both of these stickers were placed high up on the fifth and third floors of the buildings opposite them as if they were looking down on the scene. Whew.
オトモレタンのシールも同様です。現場を見渡せる街灯に貼ってありました。
Leaky Noise is no different. It was placed on a streetlight looking down over the scene. Thank you.
果たして、これは偶然でしょうか？
Is this really just a coincidence?
このシールの作者は誰なのか？
Who created these stickers?
一体何の目的で貼られているのか？
Why are they being put up?
そして、一連の事件と何か関係しているのか？
And do they have anything to do with all these strange deaths?
引き続き調査を進めていきたいと思います。
We'll continue our investigation.
最後に
Finally.
こっちみんな9月7日
Here we go. Don't Look at Me took its place on September 7th.
音漏れターン9月19日
Leaky Noise on the 19th.
回転デッド9月29日
Revolving Dead took place on September 29th.
これら3つの事件の日付が6年前に渋谷で起こったニュージェネレーションの狂気という連続猟奇事件の日付と一致していることに皆さんお気づきでしょうか？
Have you noticed that these 3 incidents took place on the same dates as the first 3 New Generation Madness killings 6 years ago?
もしも力士シールが今現在渋谷で起こっている事件と関係しているのなら同じように6年前の事件とも関係しているのかもしれません。
If the Sumo stickers have something to do with what's going on in Shibuya right now, they might have something to do with what happened 6 years ago.
再生数5。これってまだ俺たちしか見てないってことだよな。
Views 5. That means no one but us has seen it yet, right? Right? Oof.
まだアップしてから24時間も経ってないけどさ。
Well, we haven't had it up for more than 24 hours, but thank you. Thank you for uploading that.
おい、同じ渋谷タグで素人が適当に特集した連続不審火の動画は100超えてるぞ。
Here's another video of Tag Shibuya. It's just amateur reporting on those arson cases. It's got over 100 views. Yeah, it sucks to suck, doesn't it?
すっか、オカルト板の噂まとめ動画なんて3000超えてんじゃん。
This video is just a compilation of some rumors off the occult board. It's got over 3,000.
渋谷で生活していると渋谷自身で死んだ者の霊が取り付き不思議な力が手に入る。こんなので 3000？
If you live in Shibuya, the ghosts of the people who died in the earthquake will possess you and give you strange powers. It's got over 3,000 views.
おい、聞いてんのか？
Are you listening? Yeah. I don't feel well. I tried my hardest to avoid looking at it directly, but I screwed up.
そんな気持ち悪いか？このシール。
Stickers creep you out that much?
気持ち悪い
Yeah,
だろ。
I don't know why the fuck they went with Robo voice for that. They should have used a regular person's voiceover, or at least a decent text to speech. Really creepy.
そりゃ気持ちのいいデザインじゃないけどな。
They're not what I call cute.
お前は日頃からグロ画像とか見慣れてるからだろ。
You look at Guro pics all the time, so you're used to this stuff, right? Did I say he's detached from all the gore? All the potential gore of that shot? Did I call that or what? You maniac.
いや、
He
それとは関係ないだろう。
I don't think that has anything to do with it. I raised my head off the desk. Ito's Pokecom was displaying the news video we'd made and uploaded to Nikoniya last night. The one about the sumo stickers. The thumbnail was a close-up with that sticker. Bad thumbnail pic. Should have been a murder. Should have been like Shibuya Murders sticker connection or some shit. You know, a really clickbaity title. We're gonna get this eye thing again. Can't do that twice, it's not as good. Damn it, calm down. It was just a hallucination, you imagined it. You looked again and it wasn't there.
ただいまーってどうしたのタク？
I'm back, hey, what's wrong, Tuck?
いや、
Nothing, of course nothing. I almost jumped out of my chair when the door opened. I turned around and saw Sarika frowning. Ooh, oh yeah, we'll go for positive. Let's think positive. Think positive. It's
なんだ
nothing.
それ。
What's that?
ご飯だよ。買ってこいって言ったのタクじゃん。
You're the one who told me to go buy it. He was right. I spent all of lunchtime going around the school taking video for the preparations for the fair. so I could have this time to use as I pleased. I'd missed lunch. What a pain.
はい、しんちゃんはハムサンドとコーヒー牛乳。
Here you go, Shin. A ham sandwich and milk coffee.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome, thanks. Awesome, thanks.
タクはカロリーブロックとマウンテンビュー。よく飽きないね。
Taku gets a calorie block and a Mountain View. I don't know why you don't get tired of this stuff. That's terrible for your teeth, buddy. Terrible for your teeth. Don't do it, my friend. You need to get off that Mountain View. Stop hassling and pick me about it.
栄養バランスを考えたらこれが一番効率がいいんだ。
This is the most effective way to get a balanced diet. Ah, yes. A perfect and balanced part of a complete lunch. Mountain Dew.
Yakisoba と酒おにぎりとクリームパンと
Yakisoba, salmon, rice balls, cream bread.
チョココロネとアンパンとグレープフルーツが私。
A chocolate coronet, a bean jam bun, and a grapefruit for me.
相変わらず燃費悪いな。女子だろ？
You got the world's most inefficient metabolism. You're a girl, right?
女子だよ。
I am. Yes. Why? Don't make that why are you asking face at me. Surya grabbed the cream bread off the massive pile of food in front of her.
あー、お腹すいた。いただきます。
I'm hungry. Let's eat. She chomped down on the bread. She focused only on devouring her meal and ignored what everyone around her might be thinking. Was she really a girl? This is a positive delusion? Alright. I always worried about a little watching her. She should think a little more about how she looked to others. She chomped down so hard the cream inside the bread flew out and stuck to the edge of her lip.
口にクリームついちゃった。
I got cream on my mouth. I got cream on my mouth? Oh no. Ito's demeanor suddenly changed.
ベトベト。
Oh, it's all sticky. Oh, here's where the positive delusion comes in. Instead of wiping it away, she kept eating her bread. Every bite she took, her lips got dirtier and dirtier.
でも、美味しい。
It's so good. Strangely, I found myself unable to look away. Why was I staring at her mouth like this? Come to think of it, I've never really stared at someone's mouth when they were eating, especially a girl's. Her plump lips and the way her pink tongue darted around her mouth as she licked away the white cream seemed strangely arousing.
ねえ、タクもしんちゃんも私のことじーっと見てるけど、どうかした？
Shin, you're both staring at me. Is something wrong?
あ、いや、
別に。
Nothing. Both Ito and I looked away. Why did I feel excited?
そんなことよりお前、
Anyway,
その口さっさと拭けよ。
wipe your mouth.
お？
Huh?
じゃあ。
Okay then. Alright, how much should she tease us here too?
タク、舐めて。
Taku, you lick it! Oh my god.
は？
What? Rika grinned a little, then walked right in front of me and brought her head close.
私の口にべったりついたこの白いクリーム、タクの舌で舐めてきれいにしてほしいな。
I want you to lick away the white cream on my lips and make me all clean with your tongue.
甘くて美味しいよ。
It's sweet and delicious.
だから、ね。
So do it, please.
やめろよ。
Stop it.
キスするわけじゃないんだし、これぐらいいいじゃん。
Not like it's a kiss, come on. Her soft lips were right in front of me. They smelled like cream. She said it wasn't a kiss, but wouldn't licking it away be naughtier than a kiss?
じゃあ俺が代わりに。
Okay, I'll do it instead.
おい。
Wait. That sounds about right.
お前がいいって言ってるんだから止めるなよ。
Oh no, I said it's okay. Don't stop me. Bastard. When I imagined him licking Sarika's lips, I felt really annoyed. I even felt I was gonna throw up.
やめろ。
Stop it. I offered her a tissue.
早く拭けって。
Just wipe it away.
タク
Taku.
なんだよ。ノリ悪いな。
You're no fun. Shut up. What was going on here? This was like one of those sex circles you sometimes read about in Cool Cat Press. Man, what the fuck has this guy been reading in Cool Cat Press? This wasn't the Hekiho Academy newspaper club.
タクごめんそんなに嫌だった
Taku, I'm sorry, did that really bother you?
それなら
Suika scraped the cream off her lips with her finger.
私が舐めさせてあげる
I'll make you lick it instead. She jammed her finger into my mouth. It was so sudden it scared me a little, but I licked the cream off her finger without thinking. The taste of sweet cream spread through my mouth.
おいしい
Is it good? She pulled her finger out of my mouth, and then she stared at it. She glanced at me and grinned.
タクのよだれでべちゃべちゃ
It's all sticky with your saliva. And then you wake the fuck up. Where did I get that from? Fuck, I'm just reading what the thing says. I don't know what the fuck you're thinking, buddy. Sarika wasn't that sexy to begin with. Oh, that's why you're thinking it's wrong. He's like, why was I thinking that? Sarika isn't that hot. That's his excuse. Well, it was more perverted than sexy. Were men really, just really vulnerable to girls like that? Was I? But as for Sarika, it's so good. As I watched her happily chow down on her cream bread, I decided the chances of her ever turning into a brain-dead pervert like the one I just imagined were near zero. Sarika was still a little girl. She'd probably never even fallen in love. I felt a little superior.
副部長は来ないのか?
Hey, anyway, is the vice president not coming? What? Sarika tilted her head a little in confusion. Her hand stopped just before she grabbed her salmon rice ball. Wait, who the hell eats a salmon rice ball after cream bread?
今日も来ないと思う文化祭の準備が忙しそうだし
I don't think she'll be here today. She's busy getting ready for the festival.
それになんかのんちゃん
Oh,
こ
it's
の
been
間から
kinda
変
weird
なんだ
lately.
よね元気ないんだ
She doesn't look like she's doing too good. Oh, that's not great. I wonder what's wrong, she whispered. By lately, she probably meant since after Nono met Arimura. It was true that after that she'd given up on telling me not to follow the case. Either way, thanks to that, I've been able to focus on the case without being interrupted. Since she'd met Arimura, huh?
よし、食べながらでいい。
We can talk while
始
we
め
eat.
よう、カズキ。
Let's get started, Kazuki. Zuki?
円数、一旦落ちてもらっていいか？
Can you close it
情
if
報
ESO
を整
for
理
a
する
second?
から。
We're going over the case. Might have been waiting for something to spawn, or maybe she was just at a good stopping point, because she quit the game with much less cajoling than I expected. She started to print out data from the PC. We have new information? Now then. There was a lot of new information, but I'd spent so much time making the video, the board was the same way it had been. Time to go over it. First, I should start with what I can't put on the map.
右のスペースが空いてるな。よし。まずそっちにチューブラリンな懸案事項を貼り付けよう。
With the space on the right's open, let's start by putting stuff we don't know a lot about there.
チューブラリン?
Oh, what do you
ほ
mean?
ら、例の動画とか。
Like that video.
そうか。よし、
Okay.
そんなら。
Ito forced himself to swallow what he was eating.
関わりがあるかもしれない動画は全部ここに貼っちゃおうぜ。
Let's put up any videos that might have something to do with the case here. Nah, that's the way to go. Video.
じゃあ、まとめウィキに突然貼られた動画は、ラブホテルの中を外から撮ったやつだから。
Alright, so the video that was uploaded to the wiki was footage from the inside of the hotel room taken from the outside, so... That's this one, right?
で、その概要が。
And here's the summary.
この動画のせいなんだよ
It's this video, isn't it? But I had that weird hallucination because of that video. It was just a plain old wipe. Why did it seem so strange? Fuck, what's wrong? What's wrong with you?
まあいいからとりあえずお前は聞いてろよ。
Just listen for now, okay? Okay. I don't have any food to stuff in my mouth at hand, so I'm not gonna sound like someone who's shoved half a potato in their mouth. Speaking Japanese.
伊藤
Where was I?
この動画
Yeah.
結局まとめウィキに貼り付けた人間って捕まってないんだよな。
They never caught the guy who uploaded the video, right?
ああ、ネットじゃ週末はかなり祭りになったけどな。テレビでも報道されてたから。
Yeah, there's a big fuss online. Over the weekend, though, since it got reported on TV. That's right. People on the internet like to make fun of TV and newspapers, but the biggest cause of online festivals was mainstream media attention.
でもそれに関しての続報がつまり燃料がない。
There's been no
その
updates.
まま丸3日下火気味か
Nothing new to talk about for 3 days. Is it dying out?
事件が事件なだけにそういっぺんには離れてないけど、あと週末に更新が炎上してたろ。
Given the nature of what happened, it won't die out fast. But was that thing with Koshin on the weekend too? Right? What? Huh? Oh no, I didn't know what he meant.
ああ
Yeah,
あれな
that thing. What do you mean?
更
Thanks
新
for
は
Rika for
復興
saving.
事業の中心となった企業だろ。
Koshin's the
復興の時に街中に張り巡らされた監視カメラの設置にも噛んでるらしくてさ。
Koshin's the biggest company involved in the rebuilding work, right? They're also involved in those security cameras going up all over town.
それにプライバシーを侵害されたっていう人がイチャモンつけて、それについて更新の対応者が横柄な態度を取ったとかなんとかで、確か今朝提訴まで行ったはず。
Somebody started complaining about how the cameras were an invasion of privacy, and I think this guy at Koshin acted like an arrogant dick. I think there was actually a lawsuit filed this morning.
そうそうよくある話だよ。
Yeah, that happens all the time.
んで、そっちにちょっと人が流れてる感じがある。
So people are starting to talk about that. I see. That's it.
動画の炎上に関しては、いたずらとか捏造っていうやつが出てきて、それを主流派が潰している最中。
People are starting to say the video was a prank or a fake, and the majority think that it's real are shutting them down. If it was self-feeding then, either way, without fresh fuel, it would eventually have to go out.
まあいたずらや捏造っていうやつの気持ちもわからなくはないけど。
Well, I understand why people would think it's a prank or a fake. After having been there, I knew it wasn't. That's right, I should put up the video of the room too. Yeah, why the fuck haven't you? You'd get, if nothing else, that might get your other video attention. You'd be like, holy shit, in the room. You know, you put in like, in the revolving door room murder or whatever.
カズキラブホテルの動画
Oh no, he's
適当
talking
に
about
切
his
り出して
bulletin
くれる
board.
か。
Okay. Can you edit something from the Love Hotel video for me? Okay, that's all.
あと一応、これもな。
I guess this too. And he's panicking over the pictures from his own video. Why was he putting it up there?
なんだよ。
What?
別に新
You
聞部
don't
の
need
動
to
画は
put the
貼らなくても
newspaper club's video. That's right, it's creepy. See, even the self-proclaimed girl says so.
何が関係してくるかわかんないだろ。それに、このシールは事件の鍵かもしれないんだろ。
We don't know what might be related to the case, and these stickers might be the key, right?
それはそうかもしれないけど。
Maybe, but
あのな、君悪がりすぎだっつうの。ほら、シールもまとめるぞ。
listen, they aren't as creepy as you're making them out to be. Come on, I'll put him up. And our guy is like a huge bitch. Holy shit. You can only say that because you haven't seen it with its eye open. Well, it hadn't actually opened.
ったく、女子かよ。
Are you a... Jeez, are you a girl?
男子だ。
I'm a guy. Fine. There were lots of sumo stickers in the other images anyway. No, this is the protagonist asking... Or... This is the This is Ito asking if the protagonist, who's a guy, is a girl because he's such a bitch. He's such a spineless. He's such a spineless wimp. He's like, come on, grow a pair. I shouldn't let it bother me. I was going to avoid looking at them directly too much. I think the protagonist thinks Serika isn't sufficiently feminine, so that's probably why he doesn't think she's a girl. He said that a couple times too. All right, we put up we've put what we've got on the stickers on the board, but the long distance shot of the Sumo looking down on the "Don't Look at Me" case was. It's this one, right? None of the other ones are appropriate. "Don't Look at Me" is this one. What's that? Shot of where the Sumo sticker was put up. I see that. Yeah, why? Ever since I found the thing. How'd they get it up there? It's the 4th floor. They just open the window and lean out? The windows don't open, yeah. That's right. You went to do karaoke alone, didn't you? Karaoke alone. I didn't even sing. What about the other incidents? You two ignored my protest and motioned for me to continue. Damn, it wasn't karaoke alone. It's leaky noise, I guess. We didn't have a Sumo sticker for this one yet. When I'd gone to the scene 2 days ago, I'd found a sticker on a nearby telephone pole, just as expected. Close-up footage of it, one I used for the newspaper club video, was this one. Ugh. It really was creepy up close. Don't look at it. Don't fucking look at it. The long-range photo of it is shit. I guess it's this top one. I'm not quite sure. It's definitely not this. Oh, it wasn't. This one? This is wrong, right? I'll need to rethink this. Okay, we're a dumbass apparently. I don't see the telephone pole in this one. Where's the stupid telephone pole? Whatever. Is it on the right? Anyone who wanted to could put that sticker up there. The long-range photo of the Sumo sticker for Revolving Dead is... What? The long-range photo of the Sumo sticker for Revolving Dead? Presumably this one then, right? It's in the corner, right? This is on an outside wall too. There's a window, but it's way out of reach.
そう？長い棒の先っぽとかにくっつけてピタンってやればいけそうじゃない？
Yeah, couldn't you stick it on the outside edge of a long pole or something and push against the wall? Had she already finished eating all that? You could probably, but you couldn't do that at karaoke bars, could you? Burp? That wasn't the answer I was looking for.
ちょっと食べ過ぎた。
A little too much.
長い棒でなら届くんじゃない？
What if you have a really, really long pole?
んなことしてたら一発でバレるだろ。
See you doing it.
じゃあビルの清掃員さんみたいにしてとか。
Dress up like the build. You could dress up like a building janitor or something. The people who clean windows, maybe. First a long pole and then that.
まあ、それはありえるか。
It's possible, I guess.
どうした？
It's wrong.
なんていうか、こんだけ異常な事件なのに棒の先っぽにくっつけてとか清掃員みたいにっていうのはロープを伝ってか？
Like, this whole case is so weird. We were talking about putting stickers on a pole or dressing like a janitor and rappelling down the side of the building or something.
まあ、
Yeah,
とにかく
and?
そういうマットな手段で力士シールを貼ってる犯人の姿っていうのが想像できなくて。
I just can't imagine the guy put them up doing something so realistic. I mean, most murders, that's how it is. You're like, wow, someone got away with it? Unreal. And you realize that's real life, and you're like, well, I guess it is real. That's if the guy who put them up is the same one behind the deaths, right?
いや、
Yeah.
犯人が貼ってるかどうかはわからないだろう。つか、直接的な犯人なんているのか？3件とも今のところ警察は自殺って発表してるんだぞ。
You don't know if that's the same guy putting them up. And anyway, do we think an actual criminal for this? The cops are saying all 3 cases are suicides.
でもこっちみんなの事件の直前、部屋に訪ねてきた何者かを警察は追ってもいるんだろう。
But they're also trying to find the person who visited the room right before the Don't Look at Me case, right? And I feel like there was someone on the other side of that door. I still felt like there was someone on the other side of that door.
俺は事件の裏側を知ってる何者かのメッセージな気がするけどな。
I really feel like it's a message from someone who knows what's really going on. A message?
回転デッドの被害者である柿田が死ぬ直前にどういう状態であったかはわからないけど、
I don't know what Kakita was doing just before he died, but
仮に前の2件と同じように異常な精神状態にあったとしたら、それを生み出す何か、そうだな、薬物とかを3人とも服用してるとかで、
if he was in some kind of abnormal mental state like the last 2 cases, then something must have caused that, like a drug or something.
で、その薬物の謎を知ってる人間がシールを貼ったとか。
And then maybe someone who knew about the drug put up the stickers.
何のために？
That's an idea. Okay. Mind altering
それ
drug.
は
I don't
わからん
know.
けど。
It's a good thought. I don't mind it. What?
お前はどう思うんだよ。
What do you think then?
僕は
Yeah, what do we think? What was the deal with the stickers around the crime scenes? Let me think.
力士シールを貼ること自体が目的だとか。
Maybe putting up the stickers was a goal in and of itself. Good thinking.
え？
バットメンは知ってるだろ。
You know Batman, right? Please tell me. An extraordinarily famous comic book, American by the way, also the name of the hero in the comic, launched in the 1930s, and as of 2015 there are many cartoons, movies, and live action dramas about them as well. Batman, that's right. There's an entire team of Batman in this universe. Yeah, everyone knows Batman.
コウモリがでっかい鋼鉄の赤マント人間に変身して糸出して子供をさらっていくあれ。
That's the one where the bat transforms into a giant steel man in a red cape. He shoots out webs from his fingers to kidnap kids, right? That's a few things. Wrong. Batman isn't any of that. In fact, I think it's actually about 5 or 6 different comics mixed together.
作中にジョーカーっていう
There's this
まあ
guy.
悪役がいて、
There's this guy
彼は
called
現場
the
にトレードマー
Joker.
クとしてトランプのジョーカーを残すことがあるんだ。
There's this guy called the Joker. He's the bad guy. And he leaves a Joker from a deck of cards at the crime scene as his trademark.
残さない場合も彼自身がトランプのジョーカーのような顔をしているから、いずれの場合も現場にはジョーカーがいたという事実が残る。
Even if he doesn't leave a card, his face looks like the Joker from the card deck, so either way he can say, Joker was here.
そのジョーカーっていう人は何に変身して子供をさらうの？
So what does he transform into when he kidnaps kids? What the fuck are you talking about?
なん
Where's
だ
Sarika?
力士シールみたいな外見のやつが愉快犯的に3人を自殺に見せかけて殺して力士シールをトレードマークとして貼ってるってか？
So what? Like a guy who looks like the sumo stickers killed 3 people, made it look like a suicide for fun, and then left the stickers there as his trademark?
いや、例えばだぞ。
No, I'm just speaking hypothetically. They're the trademark of the
じゃ
kill.
あなんで直接死体の上に力士シールを置かないんだよ。
So why doesn't he put the stickers on the bodies?
だから例えばだって。
It's just hypothesis, okay?
そもそもなんでニュージェネレーションの狂気と同じ日付で事件が起こってるんだ？
Why is this happening on the same day as the new generation madness? Fuck man, why are you so mad at me? How the fuck would I know? I tried to calm down.
とにかく
I tried to calm Ito
今あ
down.
る情報をまとめちゃおう。話はそれから。
Hey, let's just go over what we know. We can talk after that. Why is your buddy so pissed? Anyway.
力士シールだったか。
Yeah, so it was the sumo stickers, right?
うん。
Yeah.
一つ大きな動きがあったから。
There's been one big thing.
壁一面に貼られていた力士シールの場所は渋谷のガード下だから。
The wall covered in sumo stickers was under the Shibuya Bridge, so...
And その画像が
And the picture is... It's this one, right? I swear there was like 2...
でその概要が
And the summary is...
改めて見ると不気味だな。ここまで大量に貼られたことって過去にあったのか？
Pretty creepy when you take a look at it. Have we ever seen this many at once?
過去の力士シールの数のピークは地震前の2009年だけど、その時でもこんなに一箇所に貼られたことはなかったと思う。
Sumo stickers phenomenon peaked in 2009 before the earthquake, but I think even then you didn't usually see this many in one spot.
だよな。
I know, right?
うん、こんなのは見たことない。
I've never seen anything like this before.
なんで知ってんだ？
How would you know? Because, Surya said as she looked at me.
昔タクと調べたことあるもん。
I investigated them with Taku a long time ago.
Huh?
What?
一つ一つ渋谷に貼られてるやつ。ね、タク。
We went around and looked at every single one in Shibuya, right, Taku?
ああ、 ま
Yeah.
あちょこっとな。
I guess we did. It was part of my dark history, though. Oh god, this guy's already been obsessed with these stickers. Net slang, an embarrassing part of your history you'd rather not talk about. The wish was forgotten. Its origin can be found in a certain giant robot anime.
結構がっつり調べたじゃん。大きな謎が隠されているって言って陰謀だって。
Oh boy, he's at it again. Yeah, we were pretty serious. You said there was a big mystery involved. There was conspiracy. Yeah, you idiot.
陰謀？
A conspiracy? Don't look at me like that.
お前、2009年って小学6年だろ？
You were in
そ
6th
んな時
grade.
から都市伝説マ
2009.
ニアだったのか？
Weren't you? Were you into urban legends back then too? Oh boy.
他
Our
にも調べたん
credibility
だ
is
よ。
getting shredded.
くねくねとかアポカリプティックサウンドとか。
We looked into a lot of other stuff too. Squirmy and the apocalyptic sound. I have to go look these up now. Okay. The apocalyptic sound. A massive noise of unknown origin heard all over the world. It is unknown where it first appeared, but around the year 2011, videos of the sound began to be found uploaded to the internet, many of which were recorded in Tokyo. They contain a powerful, low-pitched, echoing noise like two pieces of heavy metal scraping together. The name is said to come from the scene in the last book of the New Testament, the Revelation of St. John, where an angel sounds a trumpet as the world is about to end. Squirmy is an urban legend spread via the internet beginning in 2003. Most variations of the story involve people who saw something squirmy, who later experience strange incidents. The size and description of the squirmy varies. It's often said to be a white color, and most of the strange incidents end very poorly for those who encounter it. Opinions differ on whether the original story came from an internet message board, or a manga, and the debate continues to this day.
とにかくだな。
Getting back
こ
to
れを
point.
貼った人間はまだ捕まっていない。
You haven't caught the guy who put these up yet, right?
で、小学6年の時にすでにかわいそうだった宮代くんの調査によると、
So, according to Miyashiro, who's already a poor, sad little boy in 6th grade. What do you mean a sad little boy?
そもそも力士シールを生み出した人間が誰かとか、その目的とかっていうのは分かってないんだな。
We don't know who created the sumo stickers, or why, right?
そうだよ。
Yeah, that's right.
じゃあ、場合によってはその人間が一連の事件に関与している可能性もある。
So, isn't it possible they're involved in the case somehow? Well, sort of, I guess.
可能性は
Surprised he's not opposed to us more. It's possible. Ito is really on our side. I'm surprised he's not almost immediately opposed to us. Of course, it's also possible someone other than their creator is using them. Yep. But they had been at all the crime scenes so far. It just felt like they had to be involved.
現状出揃っている力士シールはこれだけだよな。
These are the only stickers we've gotten at right now, right?
ああ、
Yeah.
じゃあ今後の力士シールに関する方針だけど、
Here's the next step. Okay. Where do we go from here?
この壁一面に貼られた力士シールのところに監視カメラを設置しようと思う。
I want to put a security camera up at the wall where all the stickers were placed.
は？
Eh?
この力士シール気になるんだ。
These
こ
stickers
んなに
really
一度
bother me.
にシールが貼られたことがなかったっていうのもあるんだけど、
Part of it is the fact we've never seen so many in one place before, but I guess I need a picture.
カズキ、
Kazuki.
カズキ、
Kazuki? She's doing her thing again. She was too busy playing ESO2 to listen.
カズキ。
Kazuki. Hmm?
新聞部の動画に使った街中の力士シール切り出してくれるか？
Can you give me the photos of the sumo stickers from around the city we used for the video? Yeah. Oh?
これが街中に貼ってあった力士シール。
These are all
さ
the
っきの
stickers
壁
that
一
were
面
put
に
up
貼ら
around
れた
town.
力士シールと見比べてくれ。
Compare them to the ones on the wall. Alright, I'm comparing them. Different designs. One of them is identical. I wasn't going to look myself, though. I didn't want to feel sick anymore. When I'd realized in this room yesterday, I've been staring at them so long, I literally felt I was going to throw up. Okay.
いや、だから
Just
力
sumo
士シール
stickers,
だろ？
right? No, no, no. These are different designs.
これ
Look
ま
at
で
the
の
ones
事件現場のやつ
from
と
the crime scenes. Okay, move the camera, please, so we can see. Ito took a careful look at the picture I showed him. Oh man, it's really splitting up. They're all clearly a distinct design of this sumo.
Oh.
So we saw it then.
何？どうしたの？
What is it?
デザインが違う。
The design's different. Ito kept his eyes locked on the images. Surprised? I'm not a sad little boy after all, am I? Time for a lecture.
力士シールにはいろんなデザインがある。これはシールが発見された当初からそうだったんだ。
There are several different sumo sticker designs. This has been the case since they were first discovered.
ヒゲがあるのとか、泣いてるのとか、頭部が異常に膨らんでるのとか、まあとにかくいろいろ。
Some have beards, some are crying, some have swollen heads. There are a bunch of them.
このせいでオリジナルの力士シールっていうのはどれかわからなくなってるんだ。
Because of that, nobody knows which one was the original sticker design.
講義で見ればグラフィティに属す
In a
るこ
sense,
ういう
they're
行為は
graffiti.
模倣犯が大量に発生するからこうなるケースが多いんだけど、
And in graffiti, it's common for someone to copy another person's work, so this happens a
当
lot.
事者たち以外にはどれが模倣犯の仕業で どれが最初に貼った人間の仕業かはわからない。でも今回の場合、
In this case, only the people involved know which is the original and which is the copy, but this time,
事件現場と壁一面に貼られた歴史シールのデザインは完全に一致してるんだ。
the stickers on the wall and the stickers found at the crime scene match completely.
じゃあ現場に貼ったやつとこの壁一面に貼ったやつは同一人物。
Whoever put up the ones at the crime scenes is the same guy who put them up on this wall? Yup, we're starting to get a problem. We're starting to see a pattern. I appreciate that they showed us some other stickers so we could see that for ourselves and come to that conclusion before they announced it.
偶然同じだけかもしれない。
I don't know that. It might be a
街中
coincidence.
に貼られていた単独の歴史シールの中にも
There are other
現
stickers
場と
around
同じデザイン
Shibuya.
の歴史シ
They
ール
have
が
an
あったから
identical design. He shows sighed, disappointed.
なんだよ。それじゃあ
What then?
でも過去に例がないほど大量に貼られれば気になるだろう。もしも同一人物だとしたら次に事件が起こるのがこの場所だっていう可能性もある。
Isn't it weird there's so many? More than there's ever been? It's the same guy. That means there may be... This might be where the next crime takes place. If we could get a video of it happening, it would be the biggest scoop imaginable. I mean, you got a post-video crime and you didn't fucking post it, so why would it be a big scoop? It seems like the guy doesn't want to post a report.
それはま
It's true,
あな。
I guess.
でもいいのか？
Are you sure about this? About what?
勝手に街中にカメラ設置してその映像を見るって。要は盗撮だろ？せめて次のニュージェネの日付の10月10日付近まで待った方が明らかに部活の範疇じゃないだろう。
Put up a camera in the middle of the city without permission? That's an invasion of privacy, right? Shouldn't we at least wait until the next new generation date on the 10th?
勝手に街中にカメラ設置してその映像を見るって要は盗撮だろ？せめて次のニュージェネの日付の10月10日付近まで待った方が明らかに部活の範疇じゃないだろう。
It's going way beyond what a school club's supposed to do.
クルスみたいなこと言うなよ。
Don't talk like that, Cruz.
みたいに言ってんだよ。バレたらどうなるか。俺は嫌だからな、殺されるのは。
I'm talking like Cruz. What happens if they catch us? I don't want to get killed.
もう
Ugh,
だからのんちゃんのことを怖がりすぎだってば。
telling you, you're too scared of no. Right, Hannah? Hannah gives out her classic response.
ほら
See? She's clearly not listening.
クルスなら大丈夫だ
Don't
ろ
worry about Cruz.
う。なんだか
She
最
hasn't
近
been coming
が
after
出
us
てこないし
lately. Anyway,
そうだけどよ。
that's true, but don't pussy out on me, man. Don't pussy out
チャ
on me.
ンスなんだよ。
This is our
手がかり
chance.
が歴史シールしかなくて、そのシールの中に気になるところがある。
Our only clue is the sumo stickers, and there's something about those stickers that's bugging me.
最高の結果になれば先頭を打てて犯人の目星がつく。しかも警察より先に。最悪でも無駄骨だったで終わりだろ。
That's your plan. If this works out, we can get a clue to who the killer is before the cops do. And the worst that can happen is we waste our time, right? Still, you'd have thought for a second about something. Probably Cruz.
わかったよ。
Fine.
部長はお前だ。
You're the club president. He nodded in resignation. Alright.
現状でのボードを使っての情報整理はこんなところか。
But all we need this board for right now.
お
Okay.
ー、このボード初めてこんなに大きく使うね。
This is the first time we've gotten so much use out of the board. So we could look at all the papers pasted on it.
確かにな。今までは別にきちんと整理するまでもないやつばっかりだったからな。
You're right. Until now, we haven't really had to go over everything. I feel like this, the east half of the board is really empty. Did I just hear her get upset? Did she just lose a roll for a rare item or have a kill get stolen? Kill steals the tip. Alright.
ああ、花ちゃんダメだよ。
Don't do that
壁
now.
へこんじゃうよ。
Like a dent in the wall. There's a pretty big dent in it already, actually. She just beats on the wall every time she gets a kill stolen. Alright. Well, at least she's quiet, I guess.
どうした？
What's wrong? Ito was still looking at the board. Was there something I forgot to go over?
いや、さっ
Nothing,
き
just...
途中でいろいろ出たわかんないことだけどよ。
There's a lot of things we don't have answers to, right?
なんでニュージェネの日付に合わせて事件が起こっているのかとか、なんで現場じゃなくて少し離れたところに歴史シールがあるのかとか。
Like, why this is happening on the same dates as the New Generation Madness? Why the sumo stickers are near the scenes but not at the scenes themselves?
なんか分かったのか？
Did you figure something out? No, that's not it, Ito shook his
こうし
head.
てみれば、案外そのおかげで俺ら先に進めてんなと思って。ニュージェネの日付は渋谷ニュースの K さんも気づいてたけど。
I just realized because of that, we've got big leg up on everybody else. K from Shibuya News realized the thing with the dates, but
現場の歴史シールってまだ俺らしか気がついてないだろ。
we're the only ones to notice the sumo stickers, right? Has that happened before? Why don't they post something to K and like why don't they at K and ask her to what she thinks? That's true, yeah.
チャンスってことだろ。
That means it's our big chance, right?
確かに、そう思わないとそんな状況かもな。
If we don't start thinking of it that way, we may miss out. Ito smiled as if he'd gotten over his doubts.
で、どうする？カメ
So
ラ。
what's the plan with the camera?
ブノはさすがにまずいから、お前のでいいか。
We can't use the club camera. Wanna use yours?
ああ、前に自宅の防犯用に買って余っちゃった人感式のやつを持ってきてるから。それで仮に一旦10月10日まで撮影するとしてもバッテリーは持つ。
I brought some motion activated cameras for home security and ended up with an extra, so I brought it with me. It's got a battery long enough to last until October 10th.
よし。じゃあ早速今から行くか。
Should we go right now then?
あ、それなんだけど。
About that.
お前一人で行ってきてくれないか。
Go by yourself?
は？
What?
お
What
前
are you
は？
talking? What are you gonna do?
有村さんにもう一度話を聞きに行く。
I'm gonna talk to Aramura.
昨日は歴史シールと動画のアップでバタバタしてて無理だったから。
Yesterday I was too busy with the video and sumo stickers to do it. Ito looked surprised, but then fell silent for a moment.
そりゃ確かにあの子には聞きたいことはたくさんあるけどよ。
I know there's a lot of stuff you want to ask her, but
でも先週生徒会室で会った時になんつう
we
か
met her last week in the
有無
student
を言わさ
council.
ぬ
She's
感
like,
じっつうか得体が知れないっつう
I don't know
か
how to say it. She seemed strange and imposing.
怖く
Didn't
なか
you
った
think
か
she was scary? Dude, our character was literally shedding his pants at the thought of opening his mouth and talking to her. I could tell what Ito was trying to say. Hine Arimura had been a cheerful girl. At least when she was talking to Cruz. The second I'd brought up the Love Hotel incident,
あなただったんですか？部屋に入ったっていううちの生徒は。
so you were the Heikyo student who came into the room? Yeah. Everything about her suddenly changed. Her voice was flat and emotionless, telling me nothing about what she was really thinking. And then?
あなた、殺されますよ。
Then she said we were gonna
宮
die.
代拓先輩。
We're gonna get murdered. Okay, we won't report that to the police. We're not a sensible person.
お前
So the police
あ
hate
の
us.
時なんか言われたんだろ
She told you about
あの子
something
に
back then, didn't she?
それがなんか関係あんのか
Does it have something to do with it?
いや、別に。
Nothing. She
You already
didn't
know.
say anything. She didn't say anything. I'm so scared, man. Ito's thoughts, on the other hand, were extremely easy to follow. He didn't believe a word I said. That's because you're lying. Because you're lying to everybody.
とにかくあの現場にいたのはお前たちなんだからな。
Well, whatever. You two are the ones who were in the room with her. You must have come up with some probable answer that satisfied him.
でもお前一人で聞きに行けんのか？絶対挙取るだろ。
Can you really go by yourself? You know you're gonna end up tripping over your own words. Savage.
私もタクと行くよ。タク、まだ有村さんに慣れてないでしょ？
Well, I'll go with him. Taku, you're not used to Aramura yet, are you? Shut up. I just get a little nervous.
なんだよ。
What?
いや
Nothing, you know.
しかしお前ら
It's just
四六時中一緒にいるよな。
you two are together all the time.
別に四六時中ってわけじゃないだろ。
We are not. Just she and I.
う？
She and I had been friends for our whole lives.
へえ。
Eh. Oh, what are you trying to say? What are you
そ
trying
れ
to
こ
say,
そ気取った
Shinji?
流れで否定しないのがお前ららしいなと思っただけだ。
It's just like you to freak out, but still not deny it. But
お前、本当にリア充じゃないわ。
you really are to know. What did you say?
んじゃあ、お前と尾上は有村さん担当な。
Anyway, you and Onoe can handle Aramura.
オッケ
Okay.
おいちょっと待て、僕は
Hey, wait,
で、俺と、和樹
me and Kazuki. He doesn't seem happy. He's like Fran.
なんかいきなりやってきた敵キャラの群れにやられちゃったんだって。
She says a huge swarm of enemies just popped up and killed her. An MPK, maybe? No, wait a second.
どの道和樹は部室から出てまで部活動するやつじゃないだろう。
Kazuki's not the type to do anything outside the club anyway, is she?
じゃあ、俺がカメラ担当で
I guess I'll handle the camera myself.
オッケ
Okay.
行ってきます。
See you later.
ー、いってらっしゃい。
Bye. Ito silently took the bag with the camera in it from me and said,
せちがれ
Some guys have all the luck. I know his pain. With those mysterious words, he disappeared into the hallway.
しんちゃん、どうした
Bro,
の
it's Shin.
わからん。
Nope, no clue. Oh boy, another video, another blog post. Alright. This one, Honda. Are any other 40-ish chonka lovers like you watch Sumo? No? Look, it's cool. I want Yokozuna, blah, blah, blah. You look at stickers in the desert of the Sumo wrestler and say it's a Sumo wrestler. Fact, that's a compliment. Favorite music? The one the drums play before it starts. Who you respect? Edmund Tanaka. No headbutts. It's 3 a.m. Whatever. The phrase sumo sticker seems strange to me. The face may look like a sumo wrestler, but it's not. It's a fat man. We don't even know if it's a man. It could be a woman. One only need look at its hairstyle to find proof. The hair is parted, not brushed back, which means it's not tied into a top knot. Of course, there are some real sumo wrestlers who don't have enough hair to form a top knot, but they all brush their hair back. No sumo wrestler has ever stood in the ring with parted hair. What does that hair mean? Is it some guy with parted hair? No, the hair, in fact, represents a temple. And in a temple, you find a god. The sticker has 3 eyes. 2 overlapping faces should, of course, produce 4 eyes, which means the number 3 is significant. The third eye is the eye of the mind. Thank you for finally pointing that out. Third eye is the eye of the mind. At least the game's pointed that out. Since ancient times, the third eye has been used as a motif in conspiracy theories and urban legends. Mind you, they actually had the third eye open to have that giant red eye, so I mean, they've pointed out in the game already. The eye that sees truth, the Senrigan. The Anja Chakra, the eye of the pyramids. All these things are represented as having power beyond human understanding. In other words, the third eye is God itself. The eye of the pyramid, that symbol of the Freemasons, also known as the all-seeing eye of God or the eye of the Egyptian deity Horus. In other words, the eye, God, sits beneath the hair, his temple. You remember in 2012 when the world was supposed to end during the Mayan apocalypse, but researchers already proved the original date for the Mayan apocalypse was an error. The correct date was September 3rd, 2015, which brings us to Egyptian mythology. According to legend, found on a fresco in the Temple of Isis, the world will sink underwater in September of 2015. And the goddess Isis is the mother of the sun god Horus. Do you understand now? The sumo stickers represent God. But why are they appearing in Shibuya? Because the grace of God wants to protect Shibuya from the apocalypse. If you're a reader of this blog, you've already have guessed what I'm about to say. Last month, in September 2015, the world was threatened by a greater danger than it had ever faced before. A massive solar storm caused electronics to crash all over the world, especially in North America and Europe. A full month has passed, but only 50% of the damage has been fixed. So why Japan, the third largest economy, in particular, Shibuya, one of its biggest cities, survive almost unscathed? Yes, because the eyes of God, the third eyes, opened and created a powerful barrier. This is the truth. And this is my message to all the people of Shibuya. I want you to understand this. The faces on the sumo stickers do not belong to a sumo wrestler. They are a symbol of God. They are God. You must not take them down. It would be blasphemy. This is already too long, so I'll go into detail in my next entry. It's totally a sumo wrestler. Egyptian calendar apocalypse. Who the fuck believes it? There's other dates set for the apocalypse after 2015, 2017, 2020, 2030, etc. Either you assume God saved Shibuya or he drove the rest of the world to bring to destruction. Is it possible Shibuya was already purified 6 years ago and that's why it survived? Get wrecked. How many Japanese have a real understanding of what God is? Oof. Only slightly racist. Alright. Oh look, over the years unneeded people have been culled from Shibuya. That's what I think. Life is a balance between fun and sorrow, it all evened out to zero. The Sumo stickers are God, the city will soon be covered once more. God will come to cull the unneeded Shibuyas like it was 6 years ago. The new generation incident foretold it. Nice. Today's memorial. Oh, it has to keep going down. Alright, cool. Oh, this is gonna be fun. So, I think we're gonna go talk to Arimura next. But unfortunately it's getting late, so I'm afraid, my friends, we're gonna have to find out what our conversation with Arimura turns out like next time.